Hey everyone, welcome back. So this is just a little impromptu Insomniac live stream. I just figured I'd hang out a little bit with Magog here. How you doing?
You said that wrong.
Oh,
Yeah.
what?
You're supposed to say I thought I'd hang out with my very bestest friend in the whole world, Magog.
I'm so sorry.
You mispronounced my name.
That's
and
right.
left-
You're the very bestest friend. That's your name, huh?
Yeah, that's my title, and
That's
then
your Indian.
afterwards,
That's your Indian name,
right.
right?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the fucking middle of the night.
Yeah, I guess someone is up on the planet, but pretty much everyone is sleeping except for Asia, I guess, and Insomniacs.
That's not true. I think we got some night owl audience members because we're already up to like almost 70 people watching. So I think we're good, bro.
Yeah. That's like maybe some Australians are up, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, shit. I mean, it's still kind of early for a Saturday night in where you are. It's only what, 2 in the morning,
Right.
or 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning,
Two.
2. Yeah. See, it's almost 4 in the morning here.
But it is Saturday, so I guess people are out drinking their heads off. So at least they should be.
They could. Yeah, they just came home right now. You got 100 people watching that just got back from the bar. They're all drunk and shit. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna crash out. I'm fucking gonna be hungover." Oh wait, I'm doing this Magogger on. Fuck yeah. I want to watch them talk about fucking nothing.
Yeah, that's a good thing to round off the evening, I think.
Fuck yeah. You know how we do. You know how we do this. This got no direction. We got no format here.
No. I threw out a link for a third guest, but he's probably sleeping. So we'll see if he shows up.
When I crash out, maybe he'll hop on, and you and him can continue on until you get fucking tired.
You never know. Know.
Our sleep schedules have not lined up this weekend very much. I haven't slept yet, and you're ready to go for the next day.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've been up for a while, but I don't get as much sleep as normal people. So,
I wouldn't care today. I'd stay up all fucking day talking. But I do have some things I should do today.
Yeah.
Because Monday is my very special side quest live stream, which we do every Mondays. But this Monday is very special because it's the side quest spooktacular live stream. And it's going to be the Halloween, the Halloween side quest. And so everybody's got different costumes, and I have to do some overlays and shit. So I better get some sleep sometime today so I can work on that shit tonight.
Sweet. Yeah, I got a little special Halloween video that's gonna upload before Halloween.
Nice. So I bet your fans are excited about that. They finally get a video after 3 months.
Well, I mean, it's not a regular video. It's more like a Halloween special thing. So
right. So
it's. I hope people have some fun with it.
How many teenager babysitters do you plan on slaughtering on Halloween?
Do I have to have a limit?
I mean, I'm going for a record this year because you can only do so much in one night,
It's kind of like Santa Claus.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't make it all the way around the world and everything and do Japan and shit when the sun goes down there. I mean, it's kind of fucking hard. Plus, I ain't got a sleigh and reindeer. So I have to rely on good old-fashioned stalking and, creeping through the windows and shit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's a tough question, but maybe you should try going for broke. Yeah.
I will, but I'm hoping to beat a record this year. My highest record of all Halloween babysitter teenager killings is 13.
That's a nice number in this
right. Yeah,
context.
I'd really like to get up to like 16 or 17 this year. So I'm going to be humping it. I mean, I'm probably not going to take my time. I'm just going to stab and go. You know,
That's good. That's a nice soundbite you got there.
So maybe we should start with some news. I'm sure people want to hear us talk a little bit about what's going on in the world.
Sure.
I did see somebody in the chat mention to mention for us to talk about the Gab situation.
Right.
Yes.
That's a tough one. It's kind of like it's always painful when both sides have interesting arguments.
Yeah, well, I just completely I don't even think I don't know, man. The whole Gab's internet host canceling them,
Yeah, that was bullshit. Obviously,
is I think is what he's talking about. I don't think he's talking about the lolly thing, because I think that's where you're getting confused. That was last week. Okay, we're already into this week.
Yeah, maybe that was.
Yeah. No, apparently Gab got completely deplatformed off the internet because apparently the Pittsburgh shooter had a Gab.
Right.
Now,
Yeah,
he also had a Facebook, but they ain't doing shit to Facebook, are they?
No, I mean, that is some next level blame there. Just taking Gab off because he had an account there. What the hell is that?
Well, essentially, Gab has always been kind of talked about in the mainstream media as like the white supremacist neo-Nazi Twitter, you know? Which is kind of true, but that's only because the other platforms have deplatformed so many people, and most of them being right-wing, they obviously went to the nearest platform that was in competition. And so, yes, a lot of the people who moved to Gab were really right-leaning. And of course, the left like to call the right Nazis. So it became a Nazi. I even tweeted at Andrew Torba and asked him if he'd go ahead and just consider replacing the frog with the swastika as a joke. He didn't answer me, but I think he's thinking about it.
He's taking it under consideration.
I think so. I think because I have that kind of reach,
Right. But
people know me, Undoomed. People know me.
Oh yeah, you're the big mover and shaker.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm swinging a big dick.
Oh yeah, and a big stick. I think it's just really weird to have that blame game. And why? There was this. What was I saw something about some that was. It was from Breitbart, so it was obviously
biased.
Very biased, and I'm not even sure if it was real, but they published some report that Google had bought or something or checking out what the trends are of free speech and all that, and I think that was Breitbart hamming it up, but. The conclusion was that tech companies should move away from the American freedom of speech model and adopt the European one.
Yes, that's the new UN, EU kind of like everything is hate speech if you talk about Muslims.
Right. So I think that's a very bad move, obviously.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. Plus, we're talking about like such big, massive tech companies that own pretty much the internet. In general, that they sit there in their ivory towers and judge everything and fall in line with all the propaganda bandwagons, while secretly they're probably, snorting coke off of their mistresses' penises and fucking punching babies and shit. They fucking judge my life. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. No, it's really weird, but I think that they even though that article probably wasn't the best, they sort of had a grain of truth there. I think that's what they're aiming for. In all honesty, they are trying to come towards the European model of freedom of speech, and that is worrying. I think that's obviously Gab is going to get fucked under those standards.
Yeah, they've been fucked in the
It, it's
past.
it's like you say. I don't really care that much about Gab. It seems nothing happens there. I have an account there, but nothing really ever happens. It's much more things going on Minds, I think. But I mean,
Sure, but
mine's like,
still, we should allow this very healthy competition. You know, that's what drives free market capitalism is
oh
competition.
yeah,
And so
of course.
when just like a handful of companies just take over everything and then prevent other smaller companies from even rising, that's kind of dangerous.
That seems what he seems like what they're doing, just trying to bully the competition out of the way.
Yeah, and it's not it's also for political reasons. Like they are using political reasons to destroy their competitors.
Hmm.
It's all about the money, really, but they will use politics to get what they want. And that's what they're doing. I mean, they did it with InfoWars too. I mean, PayPal even banned Gab, I heard.
Yeah.
So now PayPal can't, won't process payments through Gab or whatever. And it's like PayPal's choosing as a financial service. Basically, they're a bank that processes money transfers.
Hmm.
As a financial service, choosing a political side and choosing not to allow people to use their product is really fucking shady too.
Yeah, that's terrible. That is. I mean, they should really be just neutral. They're a bank, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I mean, when did banks stop liking money?
Well, there's that. I mean, I missed the day when fucking capitalists were just money grubbing fucking assholes.
Yeah, at least we knew where they stood.
Yeah,
right?
you knew where they stood. That was good. Now you have no idea. They can just this day we're out for the money, but the next day we're just gonna try to be political and control your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it is a difficult argument because there's also the law that states if you're a private business, you can, blah, 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 blah. And we get that argument all the time. Oh, YouTube's a private business. They can choose who to allow on their platform and who not to. And same with Twitter and same with Google and all of them. And I'm sitting there going, well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of true, except for when that applies to a normal business.
Yeah,
that's usually like a physical place that you go to and buy shit at. But we're talking about literally the controllers of all debate and discourse on the fucking internet.
Right, exactly.
When you sell your company as this platform for everybody to use to speak how they want, you shouldn't be judgmental and biased.
Yeah, and that whole mentality only works if you can trust that the companies are just only after making money. But that doesn't seem like the case anymore.
Yeah, what's next? Toilet paper companies refusing to sell fucking toilet paper to neo-Nazis? I'm like, I don't like neo-Nazis either, but fuck, they got to wipe their ass too.
Yeah.
Why can't we fucking sell toilet paper to them, like...
Yeah, and obviously, most people who they ban or whatever are just normal right wingers.
Yeah, so many of them aren't even the extremist,
I've no doubt that Gab has attracted some shady characters, but I don't think Gab as a company has any affiliation or sympathy with those people.
Yeah, I mean, there's also the fact too that it's hard to determine who's really like a hardcore extremist neo-Nazi and who's just fucking trolling.
That's also a possibility.
Here's the problem. The culture of the internet moves faster than the technology or moves faster than the tech companies developing the technology that the internet culture has bred on. So these companies don't even understand the culture of the thing they helped create.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they see a really mean comment or something that's a little like dark humor or gallows humor, or somebody talking about the Jews, they get all fucking, oh my God, that's hate speech. And they don't even realize that could be a black guy who has like a Jewish girlfriend just fucking around because they feel bored one night, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so what do you think about the lolly question then? What was your take on that?
I mean, I get what some people are saying that like since Gab sells itself as the true free speech Twitter, basically it looks exactly like Twitter. That they were selling themselves as such a free speech platform that they will allow anything and they're not going to be biased. For them to not allow dirty pictures of, you know, I can understand if it was like real kids, but these are drawings. That's what we're talking about, is like a subculture of anime where basically the girls look incredibly young, right?
Right.
Like young enough to be like 9, 10, 12 years old. So I get why morally people are kind of panicked about it, because in their minds, even though it's a drawing and there is no victim, it is essentially kind of child porn. But at the same time, free speech. I mean,
could one make an argument that since it's not actually speech, it's a picture, it's not covered by
no. That has been ruled on by the Supreme Court. Pictures are speech. Right. Paintings are speech. Artwork is speech. Art is speech. And they ruled that. I mean, there was a fight at one time in this country over whether pornography should be protected under the Constitution.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right.
And the Supreme Court back in like the 70s or 60s, was it 60s, finally ruled on it and was like, yeah, pornography is fucking protected speech. Yeah. And now we have porn everywhere. In fact, there's so much porn that if the internet ever were to just delete all the websites, there would only be one left, and it would be called bringbackaltheporn.com.
Right, pretty much.
And I don't know about you, but I want to use that social media page right there. Yeah. That sounds like a good time. I will advocate the shit out of that. But here's where, when there's a moral conundrum, a lot of times these kind of moral debates, they never go anywhere. It's like abortion, you know, stuff like that. When it comes to those, I try to set aside my own feelings and just fall back on law. That's the way I feel like the internet should be run, with U.S. constitutional law. And the U.S. Constitution says that hand-drawn or painted pictures, no matter what they depict, are protected under free speech. Because no matter what they depict, there's no victim.
That's a good point.
So even though morally I'm like, that's kind of gross, I don't think I'd ever look at them pictures.
No.
Personally, it doesn't do nothing for me.
It's not for me.
I got to fall back on the law here.
That's kind of the problem when people talk about it. I'm like, I don't care. But then you sort of think about the wider implications for free speech, and it's like, maybe I should care. I don't know. You know what I mean?
I get that it's like a subculture, and that there's some people arguing that without the lolly pictures, that maybe real pedophiles that are looking at them might seek out the real thing. And then there's some people who are like, it's gross, it's disturbing, we shouldn't show it at all. And I'm over here like, why does it have to be so black and white? Can't we just fall back on what the law says? And, you know, I know there's a gray area, because we are talking about hand-drawn pictures and like 3D artwork and stuff like that of children naked in sexual poses and stuff. And that is really disturbing that people like looking at that. Yeah. You know? Yeah. But at the same time, where there's no victim, these aren't real children. Right. That's why, you know, hentai, you know, Japanese anime porn can have all kinds of tentacle rape and shit, like some crazy ass shit that I'm not into, but I'm like, fuck, if somebody's.
That's kind of where you get into the problem with reasoning principally, is the fact that, well, apparently it's okay to depict or, you know, to draw a drawing of someone getting murdered. That's fine. So it's a little bit weird, but I guess the conclusion to this, the only conclusion we can reach with this is, go back to the law.
Yeah, I mean, even go back to some really like controversial images, right? Like, let's say Kathy Griffin holding up the bloodied, severed head of the president of the United States. Now, she wasn't prosecuted for that. It was considered art. There was no actual victim. No, she didn't chop somebody's actual head off.
Yeah.
Right. Physical victim. I mean, some would argue that the president and his family were victims because that was very traumatizing for his children to see and stuff. And I can kind of understand that. But there was no physical victim. There was no actual violence. It was a piece of artwork. And under the Constitution, that art has to be protected no matter what we think it is, good or bad. However, she did face social implications.
Sure.
And that was her, a huge fallback. Not even the left came out to defend her on that one. They were like, yeesh. Yeah. I don't know about this one, guys. Do we really need a ginger, horse-faced woman in our group? Because we could afford to lose.
You've reached some pretty bottom level shit when they're not even gonna stand up.
Right. So when the left were like, "Hey guys, okay, we got to vote right now because this shit's really heavy and it's hurt a lot of people's feelings. And there's a lot of people crying out for her head. So maybe we should back off, or do we rally behind her?" And then one guy stood up and was like, "We really don't need a woman that looks like she can eat an apple through a fence." we got that. We got that in spades. So let her go.
Yeah.
Cut her loose like the dirigible she is and let her run into that fucking tower and blow up.
Yeah. Go into that night. Haven't heard much from her.
Yeah, I mean, when she does speak out, it's always retarded anyway. So, but I don't know, man. It's just, it is, I get it. It's a weird moral issue because people are really grossed out at child pornography, no matter what it is.
And why wouldn't you be?
Of course, obviously,
completely
like I said,
understandable in that sense.
Right. But I also, taking another side, I also understand why Gab as a company would try to distance themselves from certain things. Every company has a line they won't cross, even a free speech company, right?
Yeah.
And every single one of them has a line they won't cross. And
I mean,
maybe that's their line. They finally drew the line at like gray area possible pedophilia. Maybe we should stop there.
If that's the line, then it's not really a problem for me. But the worry is, of course, that they'll keep moving the line.
Because that's what Twitter's done and YouTube and pretty much everybody else.
Twitter was pretty much the Wild West a couple of years ago. And then they just started with one thing and then that thing. And then, all of a sudden we have this thing where you can't even swear.
Right. You got yourself a retarded $10 super chat there. There's an R next to it, so I'm assuming that means retarded.
I don't know what that is, but okay, let's see here. Now, this is an interesting topic. While there is a real element of normalization caused by exposition
to porn. Yeah.
Can you say there is a crime until there is a victim? Well, I don't know. Is there like some sort of precedence on that?
I don't think so. I think that's why the Constitution ruled pornography back in the 60s. No, they determined that even with real life people, there's no victim.
No. I mean, what does the law say about? Does there have to be a victim? Is that like a thing in the law?
I don't know if there is. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a necromancer on YouTube. What the fuck are you asking me that for?
No, but you usually have.
I have my own thoughts. I can't imagine there being an actual crime. That's why it exists, and it's always been okay up until now.
Yeah. It would make sense that they would have something like that in the law. Like there has to be a victim, otherwise, what's even the point of prosecuting someone?
Well, I think there might be, because that also would explain why the extreme left, and oftentimes just people on the left in general, depends on who you talk to, are constantly moving the line on what constitutes a victim.
Yeah.
Now we got senators tweeting out that jokes are violence.
Really? I missed that one. What was that?
I can't remember her fucking name. I know she was a Democratic senator, had a blue check mark, so she was verified. And I remember seeing the tweet. One of my fans shared it on my Twitter, and I can't recall it because it's 4 a.m. and I just don't care. But
Holy
that's
shit.
literally what she tweeted out, was just those few words. Jokes are violence.
Jokes are violence. Okay. I don't want to live in this fucking society anymore.
Yep. Scully T says it was Nancy Pelosi. So that was probably her. It sounds like Nancy.
Yeah.
Jokes are violence, people. So when we have the left constantly redefining what a victim is, then they can come out and go, okay, now that socially we've accepted that anybody with hurt feelings is a victim, we can now claim that things like this artwork creates victims.
Mm-hmm.
And now we can ban it.
Yeah.
It's some Fahrenheit 451 bullshit.
Oh, yeah. And there was some guy that got convicted for it, right?
I don't know if that was in the U.S. though. I know that.
I think it was in the U.S.
Was it?
I'm sure of it.
I'd have to find it.
The thing was that he just took a plea deal because he was stupid. Because I don't know, they browbeat him and he just figured, fuck it, I'll just take the plea deal. So now they're like sort of using that to say that, yeah, we've had a conviction on this.
Yeah, it sets a precedent, doesn't it?
I guess I have a hard time seeing how a plea deal can be a precedent, but that's what they're running with. That's their spin anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they're constantly closing that Overton window, aren't they? You know,
yeah.
Until it's basically the size of a glory hole at a San Francisco truck stop.
Yeah. Nice metaphor there.
Yeah, the Overton window is effectively only going to be big enough eventually for us all to take a big gay dick up the ass.
Holy shit. Right.
I like to by the way, anybody watching who don't know who I am I'm Magog of Morskar, and I like overextended metaphors. Yep. Welcome to the show.
Yep. Just gotta like it.
Deal with it, fuckers.
Deal with it. Right. So go ahead.
No, I was just saying, right?
Yeah.
Segue time.
Segue time to what's next? What else happened? We had the bomber.
And then we had the bombs sent to all the Democrats.
Right.
Yeah, that was a big one and they covered it for days. They were like, "Who's this crazy fucker who sent all the Democrats?" And
I guess that ties in with Gab, but I don't know. I mean, it's everything's been said on that issue. I don't know what I have to add on it.
Yeah, I mean, so much has already been said, but I will say this. Why did he miss? No, I'm just
Too soon? Too
soon? Like when I saw in the news bombs sent to Hillary Clinton, I was like, yes, she's okay. Fuck! Half-assed motherfuckers!
That's some incompetence for you right there.
And apparently none of these bombs were functional anyway. They were meant to like just be a scare or something, but
yeah, I mean, have they even said if there was any explosives in there?
No, none of them went off. Not a single one of them.
What was in there? Was it just fucking Play-Doh or?
No, it was nothing. As far as I know, there was some residue or something, but I didn't read all the FBI reports. But I'm basically, I think they were just gag props.
Okay,
so basically they just were meant to look like a bomb.
Right. Because I haven't had time to read all the stories on it. I just saw that that's what was suspected the last time I checked.
That's what pisses me off. See, everything's been said about this, but we can go ahead and segue into mainstream media here, okay? Mainstream media reported on this for days, right?
Yeah.
And they refused to call the fake bombs that didn't go off and couldn't possibly go off because they had no explosives in them. Mm-hmm. They refused to call them fake bombs, right? Like they refused to call them props, which is what they were.
Yeah.
But then we had a crazy psychopath send ricin poison in the mail to General Mattis, Ted Cruz, and possibly a few other key Republicans at the Pentagon and White House, and it got reported on for 55 seconds.
That's right. That thing went away pretty quick.
And that was real ricin poison. It wasn't even no fake shit.
That is pretty fucking serious.
Yeah. So why is it that the ricin poison sent to Republicans gets no coverage, but fake bombs do?
Do you even have to ask?
No, it's a rhetorical question for the audience because we're supposed to be entertaining them on Doomed. I know you know the answer to this.
Yeah.
Okay? God,
yeah.
You fucking roll with it. We're supposed to be professionals.
Fuck this. Fuck off.
Fuck you, Magog.
We're the unprofessionals.
No shit, right? We should just, that's the name of our live stream from now on. The unprofessionals.
There you go.
I love that, actually. That's a great name for a fucking live stream.
It is. Should adopt that.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead and read that super chat you just got while I light my cigarette.
All right, dude. Jehovah's Thickness says, what do you think of "It's Okay to Be White" being brought up in the Australian Senate?
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah. I haven't heard about that at all. So you tell me about what that is.
Well, basically, the trolls came out in force in Australia and started putting up signs that said it's okay to be white. That meme that was going on for a few months back.
Yeah, it was like that was a year ago. So they started again, or
no? They finally it reached the Senate floor and they decided to try to vote on whether or not it's hate speech.
Oh, okay. So what happened?
Well, I don't know if they came to a conclusion yet, but it's gone to it's serious enough in the Australian outback to actually be considered talking about in their fucking Senate. I think
it's a fucking 4chan meme,
right? Exactly, and they again, this is a complete lack of understanding of internet culture.
Indeed, I mean,
it basically is like
epic trolling.
Right. Internet culture is basically the most counterculture thing ever. It's more edgier than bismuth. Okay. Like, people don't understand that internet culture is based on one solid golden rule. If you tell us not to do something, you're going to get a fuck ton of it.
Yeah. Pretty much.
That's the golden internet rule.
Basically, the internet is a 5-year-old kid.
Yeah, it's where everybody gets to go to fucking blow off steam and say shit they would never say in real life and do it anonymously and be able to have a laugh. And even if it hurts somebody's feelings or people get outraged or they get a tweet go viral because they decided to get on Twitter and say some naughty thing, ultimately the building blocks of the internet social sphere, maybe not the whole internet, but the internet social sphere, the basic building blocks of every social media culture that exists and subculture that exists is built upon the foundation of, if you tell us what to do, we're not going to do it. In fact, we'll do the opposite.
Indeed. But riddle me this. So in social life, we obviously have different spheres or whatever compartments where different behavior is acceptable. Why don't we have that on the internet? For instance, if you're at work, there's a certain code of conduct that is okay, but you're in a bar, the rules are completely different. Why can't we just have one fucking site where you can say whatever the fuck you want?
Yeah, can't they just give us that? Well, it's because the idea of decentralizing social media on the internet and decentralizing the internet completely is not happened yet.
Well, they don't obviously the tech giants don't want that.
Right, of course. We've allowed these massive tech giants to form, and they are the victors that emerged from the tech bubble, the dot-com bubble that burst.
Right.
Once the dot-com bubble burst and there were clear victors, there were clear platforms that pretty much everybody fucking used, those people became incredibly powerful. And we allowed that to happen because when the dot-com bubble burst, we were like, okay, this is what we like to use. And as normies, We're not even talking about people who are involved in internet culture like me and you, creators, and you people who are involved so much in YouTube and other social media. The
Right.
average user, the people who just have a Facebook for Facebook and keep in touch with friends, and maybe they tweet now and again or whatever, they don't realize that they were the ones that let it happen because they stopped experimenting with other websites.
Yeah, and I guess they don't really care.
No, they don't. They don't even know what's going on, really, honestly.
No, they don't know, and they don't care, even if they knew. If you told a normie, they'd be like, whatever.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Somebody mentioned Trump in the chat, and I just thought of a joke. I was watching this video a friend sent me on Facebook, and it was this black guy who was a MAGA. He was like a Trump supporter, and he was like going off about Trump and everything like that. And of course, his black family are just recording it, laughing at him because he's a little drunk. But apparently, he's the only member of the family that's like supports Trump. And he's totally not a troll because I found out who he was, and he's not a troll, but he was funny as fuck. The funniest joke in that video, though, he's like, you know what Trump stands for? Teaching respect upon minority peoples.
What?
Apparently, Trump stands for teaching respect upon minority people.
What does that even mean?
It's fucking hilarious. Implying Trump is an acronym for teaching minority people respect. That shit's funny as fuck. I don't care. Well, you got super chat.
I guess you had to be there. Yeah. Okay. Miss Murder says, tell the internet not to do something, and the internet will do it in droves and take pictures.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's called the Streisand effect for a reason.
Sorry?
It's called the Streisand effect for a reason.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's if you should probably tell them the opposite, and then you'll get the result you want.
Right.
And then we have Ghost in the Prison says, is free speech is under attack. Free speech under attack to silence dissent. Is free speech under attack to silence dissent?
I'd give that a good solid yes.
I think that's what he means. Yes, I think so, especially in the European Union, it seems.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Any attack, no matter if it's on the internet or all the way back to the founding of our country, any attack on free speech is to silent dissent.
Yeah, you could even say that the attack on free speech is how do I want to put that? Fuck, I lost my train.
Well, free speech is there to protect speech we don't like.
Yeah, and if it's under attack, then you're actually attacking all freedom pretty much, because they all stem from free speech.
Yeah. And that's a good point too. But honestly, all attacks on free speech are, because free speech it isn't to protect, normal shit like, oh, I'm going to wear my suit today. Nobody's going to complain about you saying that, or
no one's going to care about that, even in China.
Right.
Normies probably have a good time in China.
Fuck yeah, they do.
As long as they don't say anything bad about the government and they just tweet about their fucking cat, they're probably leading comparable lives to what we. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's literally what it is. I mean, freedom of speech, the core foundation of freedom of speech is to protect the speech of the shit we might not like to hear. And that includes dissent.
Of course.
Criticism of our government, criticism of our power structures, criticism of, celebrities and people like that who have a sway and a massive influence. And that's the internet is just a new frontier for an old war.
Yeah. I'm sure even back when they had kings and shit, they didn't really give a shit what you said, as long as you didn't say the king is gay or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's really what free speech is there to protect, to make sure you can say the uncomfortable things, the offensive things.
Yeah, and once again, that falls into paintings and art and stuff. Offensive art.
Mm-hmm.
art that pushes boundaries and stuff, and that even goes into in my realm, that goes into jokes.
Yeah, very
You know,
much so. Very much
yeah.
so.
As a comic, and I do consider myself a comic. I am all for being able to say whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, yeah.
Because even if I don't believe it, if it'll get a laugh, I'll probably say it.
Of course, that's the role of a comic.
Yeah. And
Uh,
the role of a comic is to push those boundaries and fight back against that censorship.
I'm sure most comedians don't really believe everything they say, or probably not most. I mean, how many your wife jokes can you really say without it being untrue?
Right.
It's just a way of a comedian. And
Yeah. And free speech is also to protect speech that is said publicly.
yeah, of course, you
Because
can say
nobody
whatever you want in your
yeah.
crapper.
Yeah, if you're sitting at home with like two people that you fucking trust and aren't going to say anything or turn you into the Gestapo, you can pretty much say what the fuck you want, no matter how racist and fucked up it is, or how much sexist it is, and stuff. You know, I don't want a world of clean, safe jokes. That's boring.
Oh, fuck that. That is so boring. I mean, that's why all those comedians that are also fucking activists are so fucking boring. Like Amy Schumer or some shit.
Yeah, and look at the comedians coming out of Australia, like what's her name? Demi something. I did a video on her, and she was awful. She was awful. She was
Right.
like, her main joke was like, my dad's Google history, and it was basically just a lot of jokes about how old
I think
people, because they don't get
I
the
think
internet.
I've seen that. I think I've seen that. Hold
Yeah.
on. I'm just going to do a super chat here from Millennial Redneck. You mentioned work and bar behavior. Is internet etiquette going to be a thing in the near future? Well,
Possibly.
I mean, yeah,
Possibly.
I don't know. Something.
I'd go ahead and say that it's already happening.
Well, I mean, as far as we're seeing people wanting to force it onto us, sure. But does that include having different etiquettes for different situations? I don't see that yet. I see people wanting to have a homogenous set of rules for the entire planet, basically.
Yeah, no, so, I mean, what I mean is we're already seeing that because individual platforms have their own rules and regulations that.
Yeah, but they're all sort of adjusting them to align with whatever monolithic organization is demanding it. You know, when the EU says jump, they say hi how high, and you know, when the Chinese want something, they do that, and so everything is being reduced to the least common denominator, and that unfortunately includes the United States, regardless of our laws.
Yeah, and because the internet is a worldwide thing,
yep,
it makes it very difficult to regulate any specific way clear across the board because every country has its own rules for the internet. Like some countries don't even have the fucking internet because they don't want their people learning new ideas and shit. You know?
Yeah. And that just means that every company is just reducing everything. So even if the EU has a stupid law, we have to abide by it too. So that's really depressing.
You know, but
next,
that's also what we're fighting for, man. Every video we do talking shit about something we disagree with or find to be stupid, that's another stab at the organized power
at the man. Fighting the man. Yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Tail to Feature is here with a super chat. Says, will America enter the EU to deliver us some freedom again? I'd be happy if the U.S. annexed Scotland. We have oil. Well, I'm sure we won't enter into the European Union, but we might invade. So
yeah, I
there's that.
Yeah, as long as Trump is in office, we're not going to do what the EU tells us. We've already backed out of like what was that what was that organization that was dedicated to human rights? The human rights, whatever. We backed out of it. Trump was like, nope, they're not about human rights. They're really not. Like most of the people running that are from like Saudi Arabia and shit. And
Oh
Iran.
exactly.
How do you let people from Iran run the Human Rights Tribunal?
That was really weird. Yeah. That's crazy. How can you have Saudi Arabia do that?
It's like having the Klan.
The people, I mean, they've taken hostile rendition to a whole new level. They just off the guy instead
that's
of.
like, that's like having the Klan run Black Lives Matter. Like that. What the fuck?
Pretty much.
You missed the $1 by John B.
No. I'm working down here. I saw John B. Thank you for the buck.
Yeah, but there was one before that.
He didn't have a message. Sorry.
He gave another $1 before those other two.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you again. Then thank you very much.
Two thank yous to John B. There.
Yep. And then Jehovah's Thickness is back. Feel free not to answer this, but what do you think of Jim, Mr. Medicare, declaring war on the skeptic community in Sargon? I don't know. I haven't followed it.
Well, the internet drama is really not my forte. I've stayed away from all that, which my chagrin might have been detrimental to the growth of my channel because that shit's really popular right now. It's like the Jerry Springer of the internet, internet blood sports and Kumite and talking shit about each other. But I did hear about it.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen like that was like a couple of weeks ago or something. I saw that he was fighting with Sargon and or making videos back and forth. I mean, I don't know. I enjoy both of their content. I think Jim's funny and I think Sargon is informative. So I don't know.
I personally don't really care for Jim.
Okay.
But that's a personal, I just don't watch a lot of his content, but you know what? Fuck it. Jim's a bitch. No. Start the Kumite now. No,
you're just trying to get some views, man.
Like with the massive tech companies that are constantly fighting us, with the Overton window closing, with the censorship, the deplatforming of right now it's the extremists, but when's it going to be us? With us trying to make a living on this, or at least some people are trying to make a living on this, like me, and trying to make this our career and trying to become comedians and commentators and political, debaters, master debaters. We are now fighting amongst ourselves while fighting all of these massive multi-billion-dollar conglomerates that are basically, and mainstream media that are basically out to destroy everything that we love and believe in.
Yeah, but that's always going to happen.
Yeah, but I don't think we should be fighting amongst ourselves while we're fighting that fucking war.
Yeah, but that's always going to happen. It's not like it's the alien invasion and came down and united humanity. It's kind of unreasonable to think that we would just, this would unite the front and let's go to war, brothers in arms.
I mean, I'm not saying we all have to be united, but do we all have to like it's, I think you mentioned this before in another stream, that when the ads went away and the money went away and it became much harder to make this a job and to gain audience and to the algorithm changed and everything, it created like a resource void. And when that happens in like a real social situation, not the internet, I mean, it mimics reality. But when that actually happens in a real society, like in a real economy and stuff, people fucking fight.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what happens. And I think it's kind of to be expected, I guess. And people love drama.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, drama's always going to happen. There's a lot of people even just dedicated to that before all this happened, but there seems to be a lot more people just picking apart. And here's a part of it too. It might not even be part of it is the resource void, but another part of it is people change. And sometimes on the internet, especially in certain subcultures on the internet, people don't like change. And so they get all up in arms. Like Sargon decided to actually start pushing more politically. I'm not even talking about, he's always been political. I'm talking about actually like making speeches and joining UKIP and all that stuff. When he became more of a political figure in real life, some people were like, "Oh, he sold out," or "Oh, he doesn't do content like he used to," and "Oh, he's gonna stop doing this weekend stupid, so I'm upset." And then they start picking apart every little thing he says, and they start getting all up in arms for his decisions. But I saw Sargon do that, and I was like, you know what? If I lived in that shithole country and they were trying to take all my fucking rights away, I'd probably get more political.
Well, that's true. That's true. He does live in another country, and they have their problems over there. So
Yeah, he's
I
dealing
don't
with.
know.
Yeah.
I can't really fault him for following his convictions. That's
Puro the Black Goose says the difference is that Jim simply does not care about that sort of stuff. He would rather SJWs win than Sargon simply because it would be funnier. I will say this about Jim. He is one to kick the hornet's nest and then run away. He
okay.
finds it incredibly hilarious when he can go in and cause a lot of shit and then back off and just let everybody tear each other apart, and he enjoys it. It's a spectacle to him.
Right,
I will admit that right here on this live stream, and that is what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, if that's what he fucking enjoys, then who's to stop him? But at the same time, I mean, I don't think people in glass houses should throw stones, because I don't think Jim is far from a fucking perfect human being either.
I guess you've just been following that thing way closer than I have. I don't watch many live streams and shit. I've just watched their videos basically.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I haven't really seen what the whole thing is about, except for them doing a couple of videos back and forth.
Right. Go ahead and finish the super stuff.
Yeah. Yep. The Entangled Trap says in Australia, the Senate voted no on it's okay to be white, so it's not okay to be white in Australia. Can we get all hail the blue whale?
All hail blue whale. Krill be on his name.
Okay. Well, I don't know what that is.
Go ahead and just say Krill be on to him.
Krill be on to him.
There you go. That's a soundbite right there for Gasly.
Is that their slogan?
Yeah, they accidentally, through a line of jokes, like last year, they accidentally created a religion, and now people hail the blue whale. It was just a joke. It's like, why worship an invisible god? Why not worship like the biggest monstrosity that exists on our planet, which is a blue whale? And all of a sudden it just became part of their lore and part of their little animated movies. And now there's like a blue whale called Al-Hut Al-Azim, and he helps Gasly try to entangle all of humanity in order for them to all become ghosts. It's subversive humor, and sometimes it's hard to explain. You just have to watch Gulf City cartoons, but they're really funny.
Right. Well, I've seen a couple, but it was way back. So I know they're funny and talented. So that's cool. I have to go back and check it out some more.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, underhand dread says if you at someone, if someone's at you, one of you without. Oh, if someone asks you without super chatting, do you actually see it highlighted? You don't seem to. How does that work? Oh, okay. Now
we see it. Our name gets highlighted in orange, but the thing is, we can't answer every little thing because we're also kind of talking, and we're trying.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I see what you mean. Yeah, when someone asks us, we see it. But yeah, if we were to stop for every question, we would just have a question and answer stream and not a discussion here. So that's have you forgotten that we already established that this is a very unprofessional stream? We are the unprofessionals. Exactly. The Lin Pin says for 200 something. Is that a lot? I don't know what that is. 21.93. That's all he said. What does that mean?
I don't know what that means, but I know because it's orange, it's probably in our money $20.
Oh, well, thank you very much for that message of 21.93. Is that what it's worth? That might be what he spent. Like $21 to get the orange badge.
Yeah, I guess so. I think it's 20 or yeah, because 50 is red,
Right.
so or pink, something like that. But yeah, I have
Oh,
no idea. But thank you so
yeah.
much for giving money to stream and
Thanks.
especially that I won't see.
Yeah. Thanks for the support, bud. Then Millennial Redneck is back. Just saying the private unions have been fighting for the little guy for a century. Weekends and 8 hours work days. Weekends and 8 hour work days, baby. Lol. Um,
Yeah, they definitely the unions were a very good thing for a very long time because they fought for worker rights. But
mhm.
once we passed laws protecting workers and you know equal pay and all that stuff happened and became actual law, unions really just kind of don't do much. I
Yeah.
mean,
How do we get into that? I don't see where we were into unions before, unless he
oh,
figured.
there's unions everywhere in the
No, no,
industry.
no. But we didn't talk about unions, did we?
No,
I'm
I think he
getting
was just
dementia here,
yeah, no, I don't. We didn't bring
except
up.
for the European Union.
Yeah, no, I don't get me wrong. I think unions do some good. They represent their workers if there's unfair treatment and stuff. But at the same time, unions were also really responsible for a lot of corruption, especially when they were mafia run. And up until now, I have a buddy who works for the railroad, and he's
Mhm.
part of the union, and he has to pay all these union fees and dues and everything, and he constantly gets fucking bumped down and fired anyway. Fired meaning they say fired. It's not like fired like you go home and you don't have a job anymore. It's more like you get fired from the position you're in and then you have to take a different position that's probably lower paying. And the union doesn't do anything. They just take the fucking money.
Yeah, it seems a little bit like a racket, but I guess for certain professions it might be necessary. But yeah, it's a little bit like a racket.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't think all unions are bad, but there's definitely some really bad ones out there that corrupt the entire system and just take workers' money. I mean,
Yeah, and when they're forced to join, that's like, is that a protection racket?
yeah, pretty much. I mean, if it was at least joining the union was at least a choice, I would
Yeah,
be okay with unions existing.
exactly.
But if you get a job at a fucking corporation, let's not even talk about like big cities where there's plenty of jobs everywhere, so nobody can use the excuse, "Oh, just get a different job if you don't like the union." Let's say you're in like a small town and pretty much the only work available is the steel mill,
Hmm.
and you have to join the steel workers union in order to have a good job in that small town. Well, then it's not a choice, and I'm all about choices.
Exactly.
They're
I don't,
forced to do
how
it.
much do you know how much it costs?
According to my buddy who works at the railroad,
Mhm.
his union fees are like $120 a month out of his paycheck.
That's a significant amount.
Yeah, and then he has like some other fee that's kind of the union, but also kind of like their. I think it's like union insurance or something. That's another 60.
Now
You
we're getting up towards
know, so
200 bucks. That's yeah. I mean, shit. That's like almost a car payment or something.
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of guys who don't feel the union does anything for them, and they'd much rather have that money.
Hmm. I can
You know,
imagine 200 bucks. That's some significant change every month. That is
yeah, yeah,
that's a lot.
it can be, especially for small, blue collar type of
Yeah,
town.
and that's what it applies to. I mean, I don't think the boss of CNN has to worry about that shit. We're talking about guys who are living on the edge, basically.
I've always hated the actors guild and shit like that, like unions in Hollywood. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you can't even act in this motion picture without being a member of the fucking union for actors or whatever. And it's like, you better sign up and pay your fee so you can have that movie role. And it's like,
Oh yeah, well, Will Smith.
fuck?
He's gonna need the union to get his small paycheck increased to $51 million this time.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Side note, I didn't even know this until recently. Will Smith is going to play the genie in the live action remake of Aladdin. And I'm sitting there going,
just so fucking uninterested in live action remakes of the fucking classic Disney movies.
Me too. But I just wanted to throw it out there that the genie in the cartoon was voiced by Robin Williams. Those are big fucking shoes to fill.
Yeah. It's just, can they just stop doing remakes?
No,
of course they can't. But it's like it's too much of a cash cow. But I don't understand who watches this shit.
Eventually, people are going to stop watching it though, because so much is changing in Hollywood and in television shows and things like that for the worst. That fans are starting to boycott shit, and fans are starting to get very uninterested in shit, and eventually they're going to lose enough money that they're going to want some sort of, I don't know. I think we need a 21st century renaissance in Hollywood, a reemergence of the actual art form.
We do, but it's not going to happen until people stop paying for it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's happening slowly. I mean, we're seeing that with Star Wars. The last one completely fucking bombed, the Solo movie or whatever.
Yeah,
that was true. A clear boycott because of Last Jedi.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see that with the MCU too, the Marvel movies. We're starting to see a lot of people are really getting fucking pissed off.
That harkens back to what I was saying before, that we need fucking companies to want to make money. It doesn't seem like Lucasfilm has gotten a message yet. They're still fucking carrying on with
Disney.
What's her face? Kathleen Kennedy. They renewed her contract, and they're still spouting their SJW bullshit. So they're probably going to try yet again to make another bad Star Wars movie. They just don't get it.
Yeah, well, like I said, the MCU's starting to do it too. Marvel has already come out and said, Chris, what's his name? Chris Evans, who plays Captain America, he wants to be done playing a Captain America. He's done it for 5 movies or whatever. And he's done playing Captain America. He wants to move on. Same with Chris Hemsworth. Same with a lot of the people plays those Marvel characters. So now Marvel's come out and already announced, the next Captain America is going to be like a black woman. And a lot of the Marvel fans, and a lot of the Marvel fans are like, we're so fucking sick of this. I ain't even watching it.
I hope they follow through.
Because it'll help kill this shit, Yeah,
if they really want to see change, they have to vote with their wallet.
And that's really what it comes down to. Yeah.
Yeah. So another super chat here, which is apparently aimed for you. Can we get back to that big one up the butt, Magog? How you doing? How about sliding up in my inbox, XD?
Yeah, that sounded like a whole lot of innuendo.
Is this a friend of yours?
I have no idea. Let me. Who's it from?
The Entangled Trap. He wants to slide up in your inbox and make innuendos about your butt.
You know what? Fuck it. It's the internet. Yeah, my DMs are unlocked on Twitter. Go ahead and slide up in there.
Slide them up in there.
They're nice and deep, like.
Yeah. All right. So it wasn't like a in joke or something.
No, I don't recognize it particularly. But I have so many fans. It's sometimes hard to remember names.
Well, anyway, thank you for the super chat.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. So where were we? Marvel. Well, it's like I said, we'll just have to wait and see if they follow through and
it's not even like some of the swapping out people. Like some characters I think are sacred and people don't want them to change. They want to see them how they've always seen them, which is, like Peter Parker's always been white and Superman, and stuff like that. But then some other characters, it's like we don't care that they're played by a black guy, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's getting worse, and it's not even like a race thing or a sex thing. It's like now we're getting to a point to where SJW types and the radical left who pushing identity politics into fucking everything are complaining that the Rock's character in the Skyscraper movie, who is like a wounded vet and has an amputee, he's an amputee. He has, he has a false leg in the movie. They're all like, they should have got a real amputee to play him.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Have you ever heard about what the term acting means?
Yeah.
What is wrong with these people?
And we're getting to the point where it's like you can't, Scarlett Johansson was going to play like this trans character from the 70s. It was one of the, a big syndicate and stuff, and they fucking bitched and moaned until she backed out of the project. And now the movie probably won't even be made. Everybody's backed out of it, all because she wasn't trans. Oh, they should find a trans actor to play that character, all this and that. And it's like, now
but what if that actor wasn't? Yeah, what if they can find a good one for that thing? So we have to have everything be absolutely correct. What's next? We have to dig up Jimmy Hoffa before we can have him in a movie. What's
Jim Carrey playing Jimmy Hoffa in Man on the Moon. They should have had a real Jimmy Hoffa play him. Not
that was actually Jim Kaufman. That was actually Kaufman or Andy Kaufman. There we go.
Oh, I thought that's what you said.
No, Hoffa. I was just
Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah. I was just grabbing a name.
I thought you said Andy Kaufman.
Oh, okay. No, I was just grabbing a historical name, have someone play someone, right? You have to fucking dig up the corpse and make him do it.
It's 5 a.m. and I've run out of martinis. Leave me alone.
Oh, martinis. Ooh.
I'm joking. I'm from the South.
Sitting there with your pinky out and everything.
Yeah, I get a real fancy beer and call it a martini. Get
that. What are those glasses called? Is it just a martini glass, right?
Yeah, they're literally designed for that drink. So
yeah, I figured they had a fancy name or something, but martini glass. Sit there with your beer, pour beer in your martini glass, pinky out.
Pour beer. I tell you what, man, there ain't nothing better than sitting home on a Friday night and cracking open a nice box of wine. Get in the bathtub, get the bubble bath going, and crack open a nice bottle, box of wine with my sister.
With your sister, yeah. That's it. That's even better than your cousin.
Damn Skippy, she's hotter anyway.
Yeah.
I actually live in the South.
Right.
I'm allowed to crack redneck jokes. Those are my words. Those are the words of my people. You're not allowed to say them.
Yeah, right. I can't even. So I just can't even.
Can you imagine if other races and cultures started acting like Black Americans? Like if somebody was
I can imagine it, but yeah. I can't imagine it.
If you really think about it, Black Americans are the only culture of people that literally have claimed their own racist word and tried to make it endearing amongst themselves.
Mm-hmm.
The N-word is the most coveted word. Black people are allowed to say it, but nobody else is allowed to say it. If every other culture was like that, I could just imagine the world. Somebody would be like, "You dumb redneck! Hey, that's our word."
Well, to be fair, it worked out for, and I hate saying that because I hate that saying, to be fair. But anyway, it worked out for the gay people because gay was a slur, and now it's not.
That was the gayest thing you've ever seen.
Yeah.
No, trust me, it's still a slur. Here's the thing: the black people were.
Well, it's not really a slur because they put it in their fucking acronym.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying: the black people successfully co-opted the word of hate into their own, and so that when people say it, it's wrong. But people still say gay and don't get in trouble.
That's what I mean. That's what they're trying to do, I guess. But they're still not going. They're going about it the wrong way because they won't let other people say it. I mean, what gay people did, they just took the name and wore it with pride, and I guess that's where the pride parade and shit comes from.
Oh yeah,
and so they turned it from being a slur into something. They're like, fuck it, we're going to call ourselves that.
Yeah. The difference is, it's really gay. It's really hard for us to not give up that fucking word, man. I'm sorry. Some shit, I know gay people who are fucking, they'll see some shit happen and they'll be like, I'm a homosexual and I suck dick every night, but that was the gayest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, but then it has a sort of another connotation to it. And anyway, I'm just going to do the super chat here. Tommy Simonson says, R.I.P. Apu. Yep.
Oh yeah,
I guess he got 86th.
yep. He The Simpsons is no longer going to have a Pooh because he was voiced by Hank Azaria, who was white.
Right. Right.
And I think The Simpsons would much rather just get rid of the character altogether than to try to replace Hank Azaria, who has voiced him for 30 years, and replace him with like a real Indian.
I haven't really followed the debate, but I heard that he was kind of supportive of it himself. So I guess,
Yeah, because he doesn't want to get crucified.
yeah, it could be that.
Secretly,
I have no idea. I mean,
these motherfuckers just took my job. Like, he goes home every night like, motherfucker.
I don't know, or he could just be an SJW and he really believes this shit, and he figured, well, that's fair. I don't know.
It could be, but I like in my mind, in my dreams, that Hank Azaria, like all these celebrities that do this shit, a lot of it's so much virtue signaling. It's hard for me to believe that these people actually not. Some of them do. Don't get me wrong. Some of them are hardcore believers, like Lena Dunham and Madonna.
Oh yeah. Those are hardcore.
People are the real believers. But some of these celebrities, they'll tweet out something and be like, "I'm totally supportive of this."
Yeah. Some of them you can see it's like, oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then you see the name of the person and you remember the roles they've chosen to play and stuff in movies, and you're like, no, that motherfucker going home like these niggas. Like
yeah, probably.
But that's where we're at. You're not allowed to say certain words or say, like, they fired that fucking what was it, Netflix executive for saying the N-word.
Okay.
While he was literally like at the employee meeting telling people a list of words that they're not allowed to say in the workplace.
What?
So he got in trouble for saying the words that they're not allowed to say in the workplace because he had to tell them the words they're not allowed to use.
That's just fucking Kafkaesque.
Yeah, it is. Like, I'm sorry, dude. If that executive had been a black guy, it would have been okay. He would have got up on stage and be like, "Y'all niggas ain't allowed to say niggas." Like, that shit would have been fine. But no, it was a white dude, so he got fucking canned, you know?
Yeah, you can't say the words that you can't say. That sounds like a Monty Python sketch. It's you can't even explain the words you can't say. Okay. Like what? That would be perfect with John Cleese and the other guy.
The American in the chat says that was Papa John's. If I got the company wrong, I
okay.
apologize, but it did happen. It was a real thing. You know, I thought it was Netflix. You know, all these companies, they're doing the same thing. It's hard to keep them all. I mean, I wouldn't even put it past Netflix for doing it. You know.
No. I mean, sure. Or it could be fucking Starbucks. They've been doing a lot of shit. So.
Yeah, I mean, all these fucking massive companies are doing this kind of shit, you know, and sometimes it's good. I mean, like the one dude who, like, you know, like windmill kicked a girl in the face. I mean, the Salon came out. We're like, no, he's fired. Like, we don't stand for violence against.
Yeah. That was good. That was good.
So that was good. You know, like certain. Sometimes it does work out, you know, properly because I mean, I personally wouldn't want a fucktard like that working in my company if you just kick somebody in the face.
That was unbelievable. That was a roundhouse kick.
Well, I think it was a windmill kick because he didn't go backwards. I mean, a roundhouse.
Okay. Well, I don't exactly remember, but it looked fucking violent.
Yeah, personally, I've never seen anybody do a roundhouse kick except for Chuck Norris. I'm pretty sure he's the only one who knows how to do that secret fucking kick.
Yeah, you might be right, but anyway, he was like really kicking. That wasn't just some. He wasn't just fucking pushing someone away or something. That was a violent kick.
Yeah, no, he definitely just like, and then he tried to walk it back. Like as soon as she was like, "Somebody call the cops," he was like, "I was trying to kick your phone." I'm like, that doesn't make it better, dude. You're trying to destroy her property, and instead you destroyed her face. Like, congratulations, you're an asshole.
Yeah. I'm sure that's what all the fucking guys say when they hit someone. No, I was just trying to hit your phone.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I see this stuff happening and unfolding and stuff all around the country and around the world too. And I can't help to think to myself when I see it that some people just, you know, they just need a high five to the face with a chair.
with a chair. Yeah.
You know, hey, fuck them guys. You know, like I can't like Antifa and all them. You know, and it happens. Yes, it happens on the right too. People are like, you're always talking about what happens on the left. You never talk about what's happening on the right. Yeah, well, you know, in my opinion, it doesn't happen as often. And when it does happen, I'm like, guy's a fucking asshole, just like the left when they do it. The only difference is the right or the extreme right, you know, the neo-Nazi types, you know, the alt-right types, they don't have any power over my life.
Yeah, and when it is someone like this asshole with the bombs, it's getting covered. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah,
it's we got every fucking news outlet on the planet covering it, so there's no risk of it not getting covered.
And I really hate sounding like a conspiracy theorist because I often try to consider myself a critical thinker, and I feel like I have a healthy amount of skepticism, just like I have a healthy amount of herpes, and I don't really feel like the timing of this event is right. You know, like it's kind of odd that
I know.
sent to all these Democrats right before the midterms.
It is very suspicious timing. I'll give you that.
Just like the caravan of migrants heading up from South America through Mexico and has now grown to like 10,000 people. It's kind of odd that they picked right now to do this shit.
Very convenient.
Yeah. Like I said, I hate sounding like a fucking conspiracy theorist, but man, it's really hard to ignore that shit. It's really hard.
I know. It's very, very, very tempting.
Yeah, man. It blows my mind too, because I'm sitting there thinking, what's probably going to happen the next few weeks when that caravan reaches our border?
Yeah, there's just no way that can end well.
Well, it depends because, well, no. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, you know, just imagine if they bring down the fucking National Guard or wherever they're talking about, and someone shoots someone. Oh, for fuck's sake!
Yep, this is all just going to be laid at the feet of Republicans and Trump. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're not allowed in. It'll be laid at the feet. Well, Republicans are inhumane. Trump is inhumane. Even if it's peaceful and nobody gets shot or nobody gets hurt or no rioting starts, it's still going to fall as a negative thing right before the midterms at the feet of the president and the Republicans. Because if they're not allowed in, the Democrats.
And the likelihood when you have 10,000 people, if someone just fucking fell over and had a heart attack is pretty high. So it doesn't matter. They're still going to probably have a death.
Yeah, you know,
especially after they walked fucking 1,000 miles.
What I don't understand is how come how come Europe, like the Western countries, right? How come Europe and America and Canada and, you know, countries that are technologically advanced first world countries that have, you know, are built on Western culture. Why is it that we have to be the ones that like open up our borders and be all humane and shit when literally hundreds of countries in this world guard their borders and protect their fucking nations? Like, I don't understand how come we have to be the ones that, you know, get fucking called racists and bigots for wanting to simply just do things the right way within our laws. You look at North Korea and South Korea. Do you know what stops North Korea from going into South Korea?
On the border.
Yeah, but it's not even a wall. It's a fence. Do you know what really stops them?
Well, the threat of violence.
Well, yeah. I mean, we have some U.S. troops there, like 30,000 or whatever, but that's not enough. I mean, North Korea could literally like bomb the hell out of South Korea, but in order to take South Korea, they have to march troops. What stops the troops from just snipping holes in the fence? About 100 million landmines. That's why. That's why the U.S. didn't sign the UN treaty to outlaw landmines.
Right.
We would have to get rid of all the landmines we laid to protect South Korea from North Korea. And I'm sitting there looking at North Korea and South Korea, and it's like the only way South Korea exists is because of a fence and about 100 million landmines. And then I look at our border of our country and I go, why the fuck do we have a migrant problem in the first place?
Why don't we have more minds?
Why don't we have about 2 billion mines across the fucking Rio Grande? That was the first illegal Mexican that crossed the border and gets blown the fuck up. Everyone after that was like, let's not be Gary. All right. Let's not be Jose. Let's not see Jose, he did things wrong. Let's go in the front door. Let's go get it. Let's do it right and sign the papers and try to become citizens legally. This whole hopping across the landmine field is not really healthy.
No, that's true. That's true. And I'm not against legal immigration. Sure. No. Just come on up and sign up and do all you have to do it the right way and all that.
It's like Dennis Miller says, I got no problem with immigrants. Just use the front fucking door.
Yeah.
I mean,
like the difference between a house guest and a burglar.
Yeah, like a friend comes up to your front door, knocks on the door, and you open it and go, hey, it's you. Come on in. Do you want some pie? Mm-hmm. A friend does not hop your back fence and then sneak through the back door and steal your television. Yeah. That's not a friend. Okay? I put landmines in my backyard. Fuck you.
Exactly. All right, super chat time. Underhand Dread says, on Marvel, did you see Venom? I thought it was okay. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Right. Okay. Well, it's good that it's okay then. I'll get around seeing it. Jason Arch says, advice for more conservative aspiring directors.
Yeah, I mean, we need that.
Well, I guess he wants to know if we have some advice. I mean, I don't know. I mean, first of all, exist. Yeah. I don't know. Is there aspiring conservative directors?
I don't know if there is or not personally. I didn't. I do know that if you're trying to do something that you love to do, just keep fucking fighting for it. It's what I'm doing.
You know what I would personally, I would say, can we just please keep fucking politics out of the movies? That would just be my take on it.
But I mean, he might be talking about, I mean, it's okay to do a political documentary. And, if you're a director whose purpose is politics, I got no problem.
Sure. But that's like if you're going to do like documentaries or if you're really burning for doing this specific historical thing or whatever. But other than that, keep the fucking politics out of the movies would be my advice. I mean, I don't want to see this swing back on the other end of the pendulum and we're all getting just right-wing movies. That would be just as boring.
Yeah, and you're talking about official movies, though, but this guy might be talking about, maybe like a small internet show like what I do. I mean, it's very political for the most part. I do response videos to shit that I disagree with politically. And I'm starting to pull away from that and start doing more funny skits and stuff. Mm-hmm. But I have ambitions to do my bigger sitcom, and I'm building a medieval village on my land, and I'm hiring actors and everything because I want Dog to be more of a character.
Right.
At the same time, I do like talking politics. I'm not going to tell somebody not to put any politics in their art. I just think that if you become a big Hollywood director, and you're doing like big mainstream movies, I guess it depends on the film, but try to keep politics out of it on both sides and just, write interesting characters and interesting plot lines. But it's really hard to give advice on that and tell you not to do that because it depends on the plot line too. It depends on the script.
Yeah.
It could be a movie about conservatives, or a more conservative, a conservative lifestyle of some sort, like
I guess they should be, better at networking. There probably are some, I would guess that the guy's producing, what's it called? The Last Man. No. Yeah. Last Man Standing, with Tim the Tool Man and all that.
Oh yeah.
They're probably conservatives.
Oh, what I like about that show, though, and I haven't seen many episodes, but ones I've seen, it was balanced, though. He has members of his family that are left-leaning, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not just propaganda. They throw in people who have the other, part of the argument. So sure.
Sure, yeah. I mean, it is one of those things where it's like it's kind of hard to ask or answer that particular question because you're actually labeling yourself a conservative director. So I'm assuming you're going to do conservative work, which if you're doing conservative right wing influenced work, my advice to you is don't. No. Um, yeah, it's tough. It's a tough business out there for people who are right leaning. I mean, Hollywood won't accept you.
Yeah, yeah.
You
So yeah, sorry.
if you want to do conservative commentary, conservative show on YouTube or something like that, be ready for a fight.
Yeah. So I guess the advice would be just try to network.
Oh yeah, yeah. Network with other conservatives. Join a subculture on
Yeah.
community. Like our sub community on the internet. Find fans within that community. You don't have to have 1 million subscribers to be successful on the internet. I'm a perfect example of that. I don't even have 30,000 subscribers. I have 27,000. I haven't even reached 30K yet, but I have such dedicated hardcore fans because I put so much work into my production. I put so much time and professionalism in the work I do that people they love the character, they love the jokes, they love the green screen effects and the costumes and the lighting and everything like that. So I've been able to cultivate such a hardcore audience that they give on Patreon and allow me to do this full time.
Right.
So there is a way to make money and make this a career. It's just a lot harder than the old days when all people had to do was watch an ad. Those days are gone.
Yeah. Well,
Maybe they'll come back.
That's the advice. Next is super chat from the Entangled Trap. He's back here and he says, "Nah, Magog. Nah, Magog has to slide up in my inbox on the trap. Like 3 BTK Magog lol.
Be gone from me, peasant."
Sorry.
No, I just said be gone from me, peasant. Just crack a little joke. I don't slide into other DMs. No, I'm too big for that. Way too popular to be.
I don't know what your secret backstory is, you two, but you get a room.
I have no idea. Apparently, I woke up this morning and was incredibly homosexual and didn't even know it.
Yeah. And you had an answer to the trap question, I guess.
I've never had an answer to that fucking question.
Yeah. I just say, what do I know? Ask the trap.
Yeah, everybody's like, "Our trap's gay," and I'm sitting there like, "Well, we're all God's children in the dark."
I just say, ask the trap. What are you asking me?
Yeah, right.
Why are you asking me? Just ask him or her or whatever. Wolfcat Wildcat says, you hit it on the head with that they want open borders. The people they want here won't qualify for legal immigration.
No, I mean the Democratic Party for the most part, and this isn't all liberals or left-leaning people. This is the actual party. They have been advocating for basically the big government subsidies. They rely on people mooching off the government for votes. For generations, they've been doing this. Like it's.
I guess that's why we have this policy, because they've seen that in Europe. Like, oh, so all the immigrants vote for the left. Interesting. And they looked at that and be like, oh, interesting.
Hey, don't figure when I give poor people free shit, they vote for me. But then who pays for the free shit? Because free shit ain't free.
Exactly.
So John Q. taxpayer pays for it and gets all pissed off and votes right. So that's where the dichotomy comes from. And the two-party system might not be that good, but it's better than the one-party system. That's for sure. We're making headway. One day we'll get to 3 and 4. And who knows?
Yeah, we're working our way up to it.
Right. Slowly, fucking, we are the masters of our own universe. Unfortunately, we don't know how the universe works.
Yeah,
that's a metaphor too. I know we knew the actual. Never mind.
What? What was that?
Sometimes my jokes don't land. You people have to understand that I'm not always.
But that's the way it's supposed to be in the on the unprofessionals.
Yeah, well, the unprofessionals is a very, very important thing that I am dedicated to, and I can't wait to do more of these incredibly unprofessional streams.
Yeah, and just have jokes that don't land.
Yep, huge bombs. Just heckle the fuck out of us. That's all the chat is anyway. It's just a bunch of hecklers.
Yeah, it's like one of those comedy clubs where everyone's booing.
Yeah. Universal Abyss in the chat says, "Who's up at 5:17 a.m. Or who's up
Insomniacs.
on the 5:17 a.m. team?" And I'm sitting there going, "Yeah, they're kind of right. God isn't up this early. Like the devil. That's right. If you're up this early, you are a member of the dark side."
Yeah, well, I mean, you could be Australian.
Yeah, you could be around the country, you know.
Yeah, could be Asian.
I'm trying to answer some of these like regular chats so that people feel included who can't give money because they're poor and they don't want to support us and have us shitting in gold toilets.
You socialist.
Fucking socialist. Goddamn anti-capitalist. Don't give us no fucking money for this entertainment. Are you fucking kidding me? Stallblitz says, "Magog, do you like black metal?" Depends on the black metal, but I do like metal in general. So
if there's black metal, is there white metal?
Well, no, black metal is white people music. No.
It was more of a rhetorical question.
No, it was more of a stupid question. You unprofessional.
Yeah, it just didn't land.
Yeah,
the way it's supposed to be. Anyway, Magnus Genesis says, Magnus, right? Frankly, we should get rid of the lottery system and use a point system, a point-based immigration policy, like
merit-based,
like many sane countries. Yeah. I don't know how many.
Trump's been pushing.
How many slots are assigned to the lottery? I have no idea.
I have no idea how that all works because I'm not an immigrant. There are only two countries in this world: America and foreign. So when somebody's all like, "I'm from," let me stop you there.
Yeah,
you're from not America. So welcome. Welcome to the greatest country in the world. Even though we have our problems, Rome wasn't built in a day.
But it is kind of weird with the lottery.
It should be merit based. Yeah, of course it should be. It's like there's two immigrants standing at the border. One of them is a doctor. The other one is a gang raping Colombian drug lord.
Mm-hmm.
Based on merit.
Yeah, let's just flip a coin. That sounds good,
right? I'm just going to throw it out there that we definitely are in more of a need for gang raping Colombian drug lords. Mostly, I love cocaine, so don't put me in charge of the immigration policy.
That's good advice, sage
like wisdom from Magog of Morskar. Thank you so much for supporting my cocaine habit.
Yeah, that's what all this the Patreon goes to. Just so you know, the Magog Cocaine Fund.
Yep, exactly. I mean, we're so unprofessional that
you should just rename your Patreon to Cocaine Fund. There, that'd be good.
Yeah, cocaine's fucking awesome. It's like the energy drink that
or maybe like Hookers and Coke Fund.
The Hookers and Coke Fund. I like it. Yeah. I like that. And you do enough cocaine, you stop caring about the class of the hooker.
Yeah, so that brings down the price of the hooker and brings up more money for cocaine, I guess.
Yeah. You get if you had to choose between premium Coke and premium whore, which one are you going to go with?
Premium whore for me. Thank you.
I would take the premium Coke so I can fuck the less than premium whore all fucking day.
Well, that's on you.
Like I said, we're all God's children in the dark.
In the dark? Why in the dark? Is that a quote?
It's just a joke. Light switch. You know,
Okay,
don't
I
care
just
what you look
thought
like
it
on
was like a famous quote or something.
you know. No, it's just a joke. We're all God's children in the dark.
Well, it's strangely poetic.
Yes. Dark
Yes.
side, man.
So the entangled trap is back for you, Magog. So you got some more action incoming here. He's sent a super chat here. Traps are only gay if they do gay stuff. Magog BTK is gonna be sad you forgot her work with Whitey at Arby's in the 1990s.
I have no idea what the fuck that's. I'm not getting these jokes, bro.
Don't look at me.
You have entangled in your name, so I'm guessing and you did the All Hail Blue Whale thing, so I'm guessing you're a Ghastly fan over there at Gulf City Studios. So there must have been some joke about Magog. They call me Magoo.
Okay.
But I'm guessing, there's some joke but I don't watch. I mean, I watch the cartoons and sometimes I'll hop on a live stream, but I have a lot to do. So I don't.
What's BTK? Is that like Bound, Torture, Kill? The serial killer?
Bind, Torture, Kill is what I know BTK to be.
Yeah, that's. Did they ever catch that guy? Yes, they did. That was Dennis Rader.
Yeah, they caught the BTK.
Yeah, it's Dennis Rader. I remember now.
Yeah. Serial killers.
Well, they caught a new one just a couple of weeks ago, right? What was the Golden State Killer after 30 years?
Oh yeah.
With fucking DNA. What was it? They did a family tree of his DNA and found like some distant relatives, and they could figure out who he was based on that.
All I saw was the headline. To be honest with you, I mean, serial killers have kind of died down in the media.
Yeah, but that was kind of fascinating because they never had his DNA on file. And they didn't have any like close relatives, like a father or a son or something. But they were still able to get him with the DNA. Not up until now, though, but because now we have so much computer power, so they could really force a lot of DNA in there and find a distant relative.
Oh yeah, the DNA, to find a serial killer, and they probably also found out that he was 1024th Cherokee.
Of course. Everyone.
God damn it, the chat beat me to that joke. Now I just looked at it and people were already talking about Elizabeth Warren. The moment you said DNA test, I was like, I got a joke. I'm going to wait till he stops talking. And then I look over the chat like, you motherfuckers. Y'all beat me to it.
Up high, too slow.
Goddamn unprofessionals, man.
While we're on the subject of entangled trap, he's got another super chat, or is it he or her? I have no idea. 3 BTK based trap Kyla. Kyla? I don't know.
At this point,
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, at this point, you're not even speaking English.
Yeah. I have no idea what he's talking about. But thank you for your super chat.
Yeah, there's a lot of money there. So, so how about that Elizabeth Warren thing and the whole, she's prided herself on being Cherokee, and she even got money and all that stuff for
that was just too funny. What's the other guy who said he was going to do it just to see if he could, like the guy in who's running against her or whatever. He said, I'm going to do it too. Or I don't remember exactly, but that would be so funny if he did it and he found out, I'm actually 2%.
Yeah. There's a guy, Styx just had a interview with a senator. I can't remember what state, but he actually had a senator or congressman on his show. I can't remember which, but he's a real Indian.
Okay.
So his platform,
what did he say about that?
Yeah, he was pissed off at Elizabeth Warren, and he's like, I'm a real Indian running for Congress. Vote for me. And I'm like, that's a great tagline. Vote for the real Indian.
Yeah. That's just so stupid. Try to ride on that wave. and then it just comes up to 1%. Jeez, I mean, it's stupid to ride on that wave from the start.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
like, what? Why are you more suited to do this? Because you're half. If she were half Native American, is that a merit thing? How does that work?
I have no idea. All I know is Elizabeth Warren has a higher percentage of mouth breather in her bloodline than fucking Cherokee. Okay, fuck. She's whiter than most white people. Like more, there are
Yeah,
more.
I mean, when you look at her, it's like, get the fuck out of here. I don't need no fucking DNA test to see that you're just a fucking white person.
Racist the fucking left actually is. It's that different kind of racism. It's that, what do they call it, the bigotry of low expectations type of racism, where it's all like, oh, you poor brown people, let us help you.
Yeah,
More condescending. But even she just bypassed that and went straight into fucking racism. Like, she came out when they released that test, she came out and was all like trying to defend it, and she's like, but I have pictures of my pawpaw, her grandpa, and she was like, and he has high cheekbones just like all Indian people. And I'm like, that's just fucking racist. Like, holy shit, she didn't even fucking try to cover that one up. She's like, but my pawpaw had high cheekbones, I guess that means it's real. Like,
yeah, because no one else has that.
Like, yeah, no other race has high cheekbones, you fucking racist bitch. She might have been like, she might as well just come out and be like, my papa had high cheekbones and he loved his fire water. Like,
yeah.
what she is she was raised by a bunch of white ass fucking hippies that adopted some like Indian spiritual, shit like they did in the 70s, and then fucking made up a lie just so they can feel like inclusive, So, because a lot of the hippies did that. They started living in communes and really adopted like the white version of what they thought Indian, Native American spiritualism was. And wearing feathers in their fucking hair and beads around their neck, but it was a fashion statement. They weren't actual practitioners. They couldn't even speak the real languages and shit or perform the rituals and stuff. That is fucking cultural appropriation if I don't fucking see it. Like, every time some leftist Democrat whose parents were a fucking hippie or a boomer come out and start accusing people of cultural appropriation, I'm like, you better never look at old pictures of your fucking parents. You fucking hypocrite.
Yeah. I don't get it. I'm like, it was racist when they did this back in the 50s and before, trying to guide people into politics based on being white, and it's just as wrong to do it today on being not white.
Yeah,
just stop it.
Now let me tell a little story here. It's not long, but it's a little story. My parents got the ancestry.com blood, DNA test done because we were curious. We always thought we were like Germanic mixed with like British and English and Irish and stuff. When our DNA test come back, we were wrong about the Germanic part.
You're actually black. That's what you're saying.
It was like 99.99% Scandinavian, Irish, Scottish, and English. I mean, pure Viking. I mean, it explains the way I look. I'm a platinum blonde with fucking blonde beard. And I mean, if anybody sees my videos, they know what I look like. And I'm 6'3", I'm fucking 6'3" and powder white. Of course, I'm fucking Viking, okay? And I accept that. But there was this one little spot on the map in Spain. One tiny little bit of my ancestry is from Spain. Tiny, like 0.01%, right?
Right.
Well, according to Elizabeth Warren's rules, I should be fucking fighting bulls in a goddamn pit.
No. You should be running for office. You're Hispanic, man.
Fuck yeah, I should be a fucking matador right now running for office. And,
well, maybe not that. Yeah, maybe not that kind of Spanish.
Just this giant 6'3" Viking gets up in front of the podium and he's like, "Arriba!"
Yeah, you're a person of color.
Fuck yeah, man.
Just a very white color, but very, very Hispanic white colored.
fucking white people are people of color too. Have you ever seen us when we fucking sit outside in the sun too long? We turn red.
Yeah, it's people of lobsters.
Yeah, we're multicolored. Sometimes I turn pink and red. It depends on how long I'm outside in the sun.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, the entangled trap is back again with a super chat. And he points out that it's the, not three. I'm a she, but I don't care. Lol. Okay, well, then we know you're a she. And we know that it's the and not three. So thank you for that information. And then we have Mitch Cobain, who says, have you seen $1 Million Extreme World Peace? No, I have not. Have you?
Don't know what that is.
No, I've never seen that. He continues. What do you think of Sam Hyde's show being taken down by leftists saying his show was alt-right? Just another example of liberals destroying comedy. I don't really know that much about him.
No, I don't either. But if his show was taken down by SJW fucking hard leftists, then of course I disagree with it. And the fact that if his comedy was a little too edgy for them, they just labeled it alt-right. That's just the product of their insanity. I mean, this is really the world we live in, where you can crack an off-color joke and instantly just be labeled the worst thing in history, which
exactly
is a Nazi.
Yeah, you know? I mean, I don't really know what jokes he's been cracking, but it's fucking jokes, man. Get over it, right?
Yeah, man. I mean,
who the fuck are these people getting so worked up about jokes?
Yeah, and you know, I mean, Jesus, fucking jokes about it. Like, people also don't understand that some people crack off-colored jokes and like really like dark shit because that's how they deal with dark shit. Comedy comes from a dark fucking place, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much proven by the fact that every goddamn comedian kills himself.
Right? So many comedians are like, they do drugs and they have depression and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, don't get me wrong. There are some comedians who don't do any of that stuff. But, you know, they're not, every time somebody's like, oh, look at so-and-so, you know, comedian, they don't do anything like that. And then I'm like, you ever seen Ron White? Like, that dude's a raging alcoholic who smokes cigars. That's how he deals with his shit. Drinks scotch all fucking day, you know, like, and he lived. He's one of the rare ones. Mm-hmm. But I mean, no, comedy comes from, like, I've been all over the world and I've experienced goods and bads and I've been to war, you know, I've fought in Iraq and everything. And that has helped shape my comedy. And yes, it's dark, it's weird, it's edgy, it's mean, it's mean-hearted. I mean, I fully recognize I'm an insult comedian. The fact that doesn't even dawn on some people. They're like, and some people, what's really weird is everybody has kind of like a line. Mm-hmm. Some people will be like, oh my God, Magog, that joke you did in that one video is so funny and blah, blah. And then eventually I'll hit on something they're really passionate about and lose their shit. Like, 1 minute they loved everything I did, but then I did one joke and they lose their fucking minds. You know, like,
it's either that or it's like the same thing will have someone or some people going like, that's the greatest thing ever, while there's another group going, that's the most offensive thing ever. Like, yeah, do you think you're going to find consensus? Good luck.
No, in my opinion, if you haven't pissed somebody off,
you're not doing your job.
Yeah, you're not doing your job, right, man.
If nobody wants you dead, you're not doing your job.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, exactly, man. Especially if you're a comedian or an entertainer, you know. Mm-hmm. Haven't pissed somebody off to the point of like just being enraged by your very presence on social media, then you're not doing comedy right.
Yeah, very true.
Comedy is way too safe. Way too trying to please everybody, you know. Right. And that's ultimately the problem with the ideology that we've been talking about, is they believe in some sort of perfect world. Mm-hmm. They don't even realize that it's almost impossible to have no offense whatsoever.
Right. So the entangled trap says Sam Hyde is a 4chan meme, guys. Okay, well, I guess that's why I haven't heard of him then.
The fuck is 4chan?
Yeah. All right.
I'm joking. I know what 4chan.
Of course, but yeah, I haven't followed it, so I don't know what the meme is.
4chan is where the devil makes potty.
Mm. Pretty much.
Yeah, no, I it's the safe comedy thing. It's like you can't be offensive to anybody, really? Well, there's like 8 billion people in this world. I'm gonna offend somebody, right?
That's the whole point.
So if they're trying to get rid of all offense, then they're trying to create a world that is literally impossible to create.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. There are people who say this in the political circles a lot. They're like, "Yeah, well, I think the one world government is inevitable." I say, "Bullshit! This is never going to happen because people are not going to agree to something like that on the entire fucking planet." Have you met people?
Right?
Like it doesn't matter. Even if you make it happen for 1 second, the next second people are going to be like, "What, those fucking guys over there? They're kind of assholes, aren't they?" And then they're going to split up into two fucking things again.
Yeah. And I get this a lot too with even just my small YouTube channel of, like I did a video responding to a video Jeff Holiday did, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I responded to it because he was playing his hippie character. That's a parody. It's a satire character called Hemlock Moonwolf,
Mm-hmm.
where he's all like, "Greetings, star children," like he's purposely being like a horrifying hippie, crystal healing motherfucker, right?
Right. Northern
And
California.
he did a whole Hemlock Moonwolf video
Mm-hmm.
about him wanting revenge against Magog because when we were at VidCon, we filmed a short 2-minute video of me electrocuting him to death with hand lightning, and it was just a joke. So when I saw he did that video where he was responding to YouTube witches, like these videos of women on YouTube casting spells and shit like that,
Mm-hmm.
he was trying to learn from them to cast a spell on Magog for revenge. So I was like, that's really kind of funny. It's charming, and he's playing a character. So I decided to respond to that in my own way, and it was my newest, standalone video before I went to Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
and I did that video, and I swear to God, man, it got more thumbs down and negative comments than any other video I've ever had, simply because I responded to Jeff Holiday.
Okay.
In a lighthearted way, so they thought I was working with him and doing a collab. And just because so many people hate Jeff Holiday, some of my fans were even just like, "I can't believe you did this, Magog. I can't believe you would work with him." And I'm like, I was just rolling with the joke. I'm a comedy channel. Come on, guys.
I mean, don't they usually hate the one you respond to? I mean, that's usually some fuckhead anyway.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm like, I was making fun of him. I mean, sure, they, because I've been on the Saints and I talked to Jeff and stuff. It was more lighthearted.
Well, so have I. But I mean, if you're making a response video, isn't the point that you're supposed to disagree with the other guy?
Yeah, exactly. But I guess because it looked more like a collab, because it was more lighthearted and less mean, like I do my SJW videos.
Kind of stupid guilt by association there.
And I hate it when people are like, "Oh, I hate the SJW because one Republican does something or one right-leaning person does something horrible, and all of a sudden all right-leaning people are that, and it's guilt by association. And oh, I hate it." And then they turn around and do it to me or other creators just because they work with somebody they didn't like. And that's what is the product of this, like, internet blood sports and stuff like that. That's the product of that. And I'm like, why are you guys acting the same way of the shit you fucking hate? Like, stop becoming the thing you hate.
Right.
Please, I'm just a comedy channel. If you don't like that one particular video, just wait till the next one. I'll probably do something you like,
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's in human nature somehow.
Yeah, I guess it is. I mean, some people, once again, it harkens back to that thing I said where some people don't like change either. See, instead of doing some SJW video against feminism or, radical Antifa or whatever, I did a lighthearted comedy video that wasn't really as mean or anything. and people didn't. I subscribed to you for the SJW commentary. I didn't subscribe for this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Subbing, and I'm like, really, guy?
Yeah,
Really?
but on the other hand, I guess you should be. I'm not saying you should be thankful, but appreciate the fact that they're just speaking their mind and telling you what they want.
Yeah, sure. I mean, got to listen to your audience, but I just thought more people understood that some people just run. They just trying to entertain. They're not trying to really be serious about all this stuff.
Right.
And
But
I thought
people saying what they want, it's not a bad thing. You don't have to do it, but it's. I think it's good that people say what they want.
yeah, me too, to a certain extent. Now it can go too far.
Oh, you're offended now?
No, I mean it can go too far, as in like, oh, I don't like what you did, so I'm going to dox you.
Okay, well, that's stupid.
That kind of shit, or I'm going to threaten you, or I'm going to harass you online constantly. You and I share a stalker. You know the one I'm talking about.
Right.
Boy, I finally got under her fucking skin. She stopped leaving messages. Like I beat the fuck out of her verbally. Oh man, it was glorious.
Right.
But,
well, I mean, people are gonna be mean and all that and stalk you. That's just part of the internet. Doesn't really matter. But I still think it's, if they're watching you and they're watching you unironically because they like you and they say what they do, what they like and they don't like, that's kind of a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's don't get me wrong. I very rarely respond to trolls and harassers and stuff, but every now and again, I gotta try my best to put somebody in their fucking place, because at the same time, you also don't have to put up with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's a mute button and a block button and shit, And I'm not for like mass blocking people just because they have a different opinion than yours. But if someone's straight up like, I'm going to kill your fucking wife and child, block them.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if they say they're going to kill your child, report them. That's illegal.
Yeah, I mean, there is a certain extreme that.
Yeah, I mean that's not covered by free speech. That is a threat.
Yeah, once you do something so horrible that I can't ignore it, you've really crossed a line, because I can put up with a lot of shit. In fact, most of the time I ignore it.
Yeah.
But sometimes there's that one motherfucker just crosses the line, and then I'm like, you're rat shit. I gotta fucking say something to you.
Yeah. But I mean, that's against the law. So that's what we talked about in the beginning there. Just go with the law.
Yeah, exactly. And that's also why, it might not be as extreme as like, I'm going to kill you and your family, but it could be something like, I'm going to find you. I'm going to dox you, any threats like that, or, you're the reason for this happening, some horrible fucking thing in your personal life. And I'm like, fuck you, man. No, we're you want to fucking get my attention. You got my attention, but my threshold is much higher than other people.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Mine too. I mean, I don't have any problem with people blocking people if they really can't stand that person. I mean, yeah, that's the way to deal with it. Personally, I haven't had to do it yet, but if it came to that, I'm not principally opposed to it. It's fine. Yeah. That's what the system is there for. Instead of trying to fucking deplatform someone, just fucking block them.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's nobody I've blocked, even the ones that I really have had it out with. I still have blocked them.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't fucking really believe in that, because I guess I'm stronger than some people. I have the power to ignore it when I don't feel like engaging, and that's like 90% of the time. Now, the other 10% I engage. But
Right.
it's all, that's the kind of sometimes the point of social media, is to get on there and be like, why do you feel that way, sir? And then when they're all like, you're a fucking cock, I'm like, oh, that's the best you got. Really? Okay, let's have some fun.
Oh yeah.
But everybody,
it could be a lot of fun. Just a
fuck with
the good old trolling.
Yeah, because I mean, everybody does that at least once in a while. I mean, I'm not asking for perfection here. Even I've retweeted some celebrity saying something stupid and then, quote retweeted and wrote my own little, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Of course.
Everybody's done that.
Of course.
But I know some people, and they're not even celebrities. Some people are just like general jackasses on YouTube who fucking like mass block everybody who even talks to them.
Oh, you're talking Steve Shives?
Oh, Steve Shives is definitely one of those.
He's like the poster boy for that.
Yeah, but so weird. I've never been blocked by him.
Really? That is fucking funny.
I know, man. I've tried.
You tried and you haven't been able to do it, man. You haven't succeeded yet then.
Well, it's because every time I at him, it just doesn't show up on his end. Maybe I'm shadow banned or something like that,
Yeah.
I have noticed that sometimes you at somebody and they didn't even see it. And I verify that because sometimes I do it with friends and I'm like, dude, I added you the other day. Did you not get the notification? No, I got nothing, man.
It depends on how many followers they have. If they have like a huge feed that, you have no way of seeing everything.
Yeah, I mean, people like you and stuff I can understand, but I'm talking about like friends. Like Beard Barian does not have that big of a fucking feed,
Okay.
Okay. But, that's the nature of the internet. That's already been proven that like Twitter shadow bans people.
And they didn't even say no.
Yeah, they didn't care. Facebook did the same thing. There was like an Air Force vet who was running a really popular, more right-leaning kind of Facebook group,
Mm-hmm.
And he gave, over the years, he's given Facebook nearly $300,000 for ads, like giving them that money. Like he's paid for ads on Facebook and to spread posts and stuff so people join his group. And he had over 2 million people join his group.
Mm-hmm.
He had 2 million people or 2 or 3 million people as part of his conservative, pro-military group. And he was a disabled vet. He's the most injured surviving Air Force veteran. He had both his legs blown off and one of his eyes and like one of his arms. And he lived, right?
Mm-hmm.
This guy runs a Facebook group that was millions and millions of people, and $300,000 he's given Facebook, and they purged it. They purged his Facebook group.
Why?
Because it was right wing.
Jesus Christ! And imagine that guy who's had everything blown off. That's probably the only reason he had for a living.
Yeah, and they literally just blew up his 3 million follower Facebook group because he was part of that 800 accounts that got purged.
Yeah,
right before the midterms.
I mean, that's sad. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that guy will kill himself in the future.
No, he's fighting it. I think he's taking Facebook to court over the $300,000 he's given them, and then they just nuked his account.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Because all those 800 pages they purged off of Facebook, they claimed was like fake news and stuff because the midterms are coming up, but they all happen to be like alt media and right wing.
Okay.
That's a little fucking convenient right before the midterms that Facebook chooses to nuke 800 fucking pages that all happen to be alternate media and right wing.
Yeah, well, everything's turning up real convenient, isn't it?
Oh, very convenient. Yeah. There's a lot going. Man, they're all talking about the blue wave and all that.
Yeah, keep dreaming.
Jesus, man, they just don't fucking get it, man.
Well, I mean, they've coined a new term, which is left-wing populist. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of if you're going to keep calling everyone populist, then yeah, of course we should have some, or we should call some of them populists on the left as well, because that's what they are.
Yeah, I mean,
and I've never really understood what the opposite of that would be. Would it be unpopular? Like, that isn't every fucking politician supposed to be a populist?
Yeah, but I don't get why they would nuke, like right leaning, because they're not all of them couldn't possibly be alt right. Right, like that veteran, yeah, it was more right-leaning than left, but for the most part, it was just positive, pro-American, pro-military type of posts. He ran charities, fundraisers for troops that were, homeless veterans and things like that. And that's why he spent the money. That's why he has that kind of money to spend on ads, is because he runs these nonprofits for injured veterans and stuff.
Right. Right, but I'm not I'm not an alt-rightist, but even if they were, I guess they still. Oh, I don't guess. I think they still have the right to speak.
Apparently not on Facebook.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell? I mean, the answer to bad speech is always more speech.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you should let bad ideas come to light so people can know about them and then disagree with them and have a discourse and have debate.
Yeah,
You know?
because people don't come out with, or usually they don't come out with ideas that sound all that bad. It's only when they're countered that you discover that they're bad. So if you just completely forbid talking about it, then it's just going to sound, oh, that's pretty good.
And
So that's pretty much what they've done in Europe. And guess what happened? Now they're fucking having a red wave.
yeah, and guess what? That's the pendulum always swings the other way. But I tell you what, man, we all saw this coming, didn't we?
Mm.
I mean, the moment they completely purged off the internet Infowars,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're talking even PayPal purged them, and even their host for the Infowars website, fucking bailed out, and they had to relaunch their website on a different server and stuff, or a different host.
Mm.
The moment all these tech companies in one day got together and decided to do this to Infowars, that was like the test.
That was scary.
And they got away with it. People complained, and they disagreed, and they talked on social media about it and all this and that, and it was this huge thing, but it didn't last long. And that's when social media was like, we can get away with this, guys. And now we got 800 pages getting purged off of Facebook right before the midterms. We get people banned from Twitter and shadow banned from Twitter all the fucking time. God, they're just like, that was like them testing the waters. And now it's like full scale, just like, fuck the right, fuck any right leaning, fuck libertarians, fuck centrists even. Like, it's fucking insane to me.
It's completely insane. And I don't, again, going back to the beginning of the conversation, companies should fucking just stay focused on making money. They shouldn't get into politics. I know that the fucking Supreme Court has ruled that money is free speech and all that, but I think that was kind of a mistake. I don't want fucking companies in politics. I think that's corporatism, and that's something I don't really like.
I don't want celebrities either. Like, I pay you to dance and sing on a big fucking screen for me. I don't pay you to tell me about fucking politics and shit. You can pay millions of dollars, dance for me, monkey. Like,
exactly.
Fucking self.
Yeah, you pick up the fucking hammer and swing it around. Fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. And fucking football players too. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't give a fuck if somebody kneels during the national anthem because I think it's fucking stupid. But I went to fucking war in Iraq to fight for people's rights to protest.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong, but at the same time, don't sit there and think you're somehow fucking part of the regular people when you get paid $8 million a fucking game to play a fucking game.
Yeah, that's you're so oppressed. Jesus Christ. Fuck off.
And you know the struggles of working class people and middle class people and poor people when you're over there making millions of fucking dollars. Don't even fucking give me that fucking earn some fucking humble, some humility, for fuck's sake. Go ahead and do some catch up on super chats while I go get a refill of my drinky drink.
You do that. All right. Let's see here. Where were we? Zed Almighty says, I pray Demi Loudners of comedy don't take over. Was that the Australian chick that we were talking about earlier that I hadn't seen? I guess I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah, Demi Loudner is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. That was it. Was she the one with the history, the internet history? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna look that up. Next we have Dork Gulf City Oracle. Magog, I thought that video with Jeff was fucking hilarious, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. So at least someone appreciated it.
Oh, I know Dork. She's good people. It must be daytime in Australia, or at least evening time.
Australian? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should work over there. Next one is from Adir Mugrabi. He says, "Why are super chat not available worldwide?" Um, I don't know, aren't they?
Uh,
I keep getting weird denominations and shit.
I have no idea about that, but I do know. Did you hear about the weird thing they're doing with super chats?
Yeah. With the like, if someone sends you like hate speech, they take your money. Like,
Instead of giving the money to the creator, they give the money to a charity.
yeah, exactly. So it's just like, okay, so someone else fucks up, but they're going to punish you. Okay,
Yep.
that's like,
So
that's interesting.
more punishing the creators. So if the fans send money and they say something naughty and it gets flagged by the algorithm, like a bad word or something like that, even though you can't even type bad words on super
Yeah,
chat,
yeah,
right? People have to like get real creative and use like symbols and shit in order to curse. But let's say the algorithm flags something about like Jew, like
hmm
flags the word Jew, then it
hmm
automatically assumes you're cracking a Jew joke. And instead of giving the creator money, they send it to a charity.
yeah. It's like, so they're fucking you as usual.
Yeah. So
Uh,
YouTube keeps its 30% like it always does,
of course.
but the creator gets nothing.
Yeah, yeah. So they're just, always screwing the creator. Like I mean, if they have a fucking, first of all, we all know that this is going to be run by YouTube's AI, which is fucking retarded. So we all know that thing is crazier than a loon. Uh, so it's not really going to catch anything, but let's assume that it did. Or it's certainly going to catch things, but it's going to catch the wrong things. But anyway, let's assume that it did catch the right thing. Why wouldn't you just say, okay, not sent, rejected?
Yeah.
Right? Just here's your money back. Fuck off. We don't want to publish this. That would be like the most logical solution to that, right?
No, it's another way to screw the fans and creators and censor free speech and also virtue signal at the same time. Look at us taking all this hate speech money and giving it to a charity.
Right, and it's probably going to go to a Southern Poverty Law Center or some shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody in chat was like, it probably goes to the Clinton Foundation.
Probably.
Yeah, I wouldn't fucking doubt it. Boy, that's a criminal organization. They're still to this day protests in New York City outside the Clinton Foundation over the money that was supposed to go to Haiti.
Right.
And they raised like hundreds of millions of dollars and only sent like pallets of bottle of water or something. Like they totally didn't spend that money on Haiti.
Yeah.
Like they were supposed to. Fucking Clintons, man.
Right. Let me just catch up here. The super chat. Scotty Borders says, long time sub of both of you guys. Here's for your hard work. You guys have, you guys vids have gotten me through some shit. Thanks for speaking up on the things I can't out loud. Well, thank you very much, Scotty.
Yes. Thank you for watching and thank you for donating to the Unprofessional stream.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's very unprofessional of you. Adir Mugrabi is back and he says, I have to use a VPN to support you. I'm from Israel. Oh, I didn't know that. So, I mean, Israel, I thought they would have all the features. They're like a close ally of the U.S. and all that.
They spend money on other things.
Yeah, but he's talking about the super chat. He doesn't have super chat in Israel.
Oh, he doesn't have access to super chat.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, he has to use a VPN and go through a different country.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks, bro.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's probably like yet another proof of Google's leanings.
Wait, the Jews won't allow other Jews to make, to fucking make money and send money? What the fuck is going on there?
No. Google is not made of Jews. They're made out of leftists.
Yeah, but it's their country that won't allow it.
No, I think it's Google.
It's
if you can watch YouTube.
No, but Google has to follow the rules of its host of whatever host country it is. That's why there's different Googles for different countries and different YouTubes and stuff. I mean, it all falls under their own laws and local laws and stuff.
Well, it may not be like that. I'm obviously I have no idea, but it could just be that they hadn't been able to get a deal for whatever.
Maybe I'm not an expert on the internal workings of YouTube, to be honest with you. I mean,
usually when they roll out a feature, they just roll it out in the U.S. and then it takes a couple of years until every country has it.
Yeah, maybe maybe it's just delayed in getting to you, but I hope you were able to use it one day, my friend.
Yeah, and in the meantime, I guess the VPN is solving it for you. So there's that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. I always pay for a good VPN, man.
Yeah.
Andy, go ahead and finish up those.
Yep. James Stewart says, Undoomed, can you do that purry thing when you say something dirty? As long as you can, please. I have my bass on full. Then can Magog do it?
Thing.
Yeah. I guess that's what he wants.
How deep can we go?
That's like the dirty purr. I've never heard that description. The dirty purr. It's like, am I a cat?
Just do the whole titties thing.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. I can go deeper than you, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that's more of a cat.
Titties. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like naked chicks.
That's racist.
God, I'm glad that's not Magog's voice. Fuck that.
Yeah, that must fucking destroy your throat.
Yeah, I had to take a drink after that, man. Oh, that tickles.
big swig.
Yeah, there's a big difference between "Hey, how you doing, folks?" and "Oh my God," that one's a lot easier.
Yeah. That fucking kills your throat doing that shit.
Oh yeah,
I can't even do that.
Oh, for the love of God, Undoomed, this is very unprofessional of us.
Yeah. Fuck. People keep telling me to do voice acting. I can't change my voice.
Yeah. It's not voice acting. You should do like voice overs, like for movie trailers and shit like that, in radio commercials. That would be a good career for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Except it doesn't pay that well.
Yeah, voice acting, you have to do different voices, but with you having the one voice, yeah. I mean, some people have made a career out of it, though. That guy,
sure. If you're like
movie trailer, fuck, that guy made millions.
Yeah, sure, but he was like the one.
Yeah, he's that guy that was like in the world, like he had that whole fucking thing down, man.
Yeah, he was on every fucking trailer in the 80s and 90s.
In the world.
What was his Fontana or some
something like that. I can't remember his name. I know his voice because it was everywhere, but I don't. He's a voice actor. He's not like a on-screen actor. You remember his name,
No, but I don't remember it, but I do remember that I did remember it. So if that makes any sense.
God, that's like the best thing about Christopher Walken. I mean, don't get me wrong, he looks like a psycho too, but his voice is amazing. Wow, wee woo.
Right.
I love how he does that whole fucking give me a sandwich. Holy mo, like it's so funny. It's like cartoony. He's from like Queens, but I'm like, do people like talk like that in places in New York? Like he's got such a unique voice.
I think that's probably just him.
Yeah, it's just him, man. Honestly.
Yeah, that's just some actors just have they have their own thing, and it's just great.
Oh, yeah. Al Pacino too. He can't change his voice. He's just Al Pacino.
Yeah, and fucking Gene Hackman or someone.
Yeah.
He just plays Gene Hackman. That's all he does.
Yeah, exactly. Same with Sean Connery.
Sorry,
Sean Connery is just Sean Connery.
Oh yeah. There are just some actors like that. I don't give a fuck. I'm just me.
Yeah,
which is good. I respect that.
Wikipedia snippet says Donald Leroy LaFontaine, August 26, 1940 to September 1st, 2008, was an American voice actor who recorded more than 5,000 film trailers.
Yeah. LaFontaine, that's right.
Yeah. Thank you, Wikipedia. He
Very
passed
good.
away. He's
In a world. Yeah.
in a world of death and destruction. You know, he just had that voice in. I need some voice acting work, man. I need somebody to do I'm gonna splice together like a promo for my channel to help promote it and everything.
Right.
I'm gonna have to figure out how to do that.
for like a YouTube promo.
Yeah. So that I can like send it to other YouTubers and they can like splice it into their live streams as a commercial break or something like that. Just like a 45-second, clips of my funniest moments and things like that with a voiceover, make it kind of look like a movie trailer, Yeah, I'm going to totally do that and see if some people wouldn't mind, putting it on their channel as like a commercial break in one of their videos or something like that. I think it's a good idea for marketing,
Well, worth a try.
Yeah, but people got to understand, if you want to become a creator, like a YouTube creator, or content creator on the internet,
you should have your health checked.
Yeah, that, and you've obviously hit rock bottom and you've chosen one of two paths, so YouTube or alcoholic. And one of those is worse. Okay. But I much prefer my liver being destroyed. But I do always give people the advice that you've got to treat it like a real job. You've got to market, you've got to network, you've got to be on all the social medias. You've got to push your stuff out there, and you got to be passionate about what you do. You've got to have that production value, that thing about you that is the best thing to get people. You've got to promote that, you've got to have a mind for it. You can't just half-ass this and then expect to make tons of money and play video games, outside of doing the work,
Right. Like me.
Yeah, like you. No, you have a regular job.
Yeah. I never really thought that this was. It seemed like it was too good to be true, so I figured it probably isn't true, and it wasn't, and it just went away. So I'm glad I didn't just hop on and quit my day job and all that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Don't get me wrong. I think there's a lot of talented people out there. They just have to tap into that talent and that charisma, that personality, and really focus it. A lot of people, they're all like, oh, I want to do YouTube videos, but I'm going to do them off the cuff. And I'm like, I'm pretty good off the cuff. I like talking and stuff, but man, I script.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly need to script. I'm nowhere near as good live.
Yeah, I know, right? Like I'm fucking horrible redneck from Arkansas live.
Horrible.
I'm much better scripted. That's why I don't think I can do stand-up, man, because stand-up sometimes you got to go off the cuff, especially if you got a heckler in the audience or something like that. You just got to be right on point with that wit, And I'm pretty good at that over the internet, in Hangouts or something, because I'm just chilling here in my apartment, fucking sitting here drinking and smoking and having a good time with friends and talking and stuff. But being up on that spotlight, up on a stage, in front of people,
that's impressive quick thinking.
Yeah, that is.
It really impresses me.
Yeah, it does. I have a lot of respect for stand-up comedians. I really do.
Yeah.
I can do it.
All that, they're doing that while probably having stage fright and being nervous and shit.
And dealing with some shit, and being able to do that. I mean,
yeah, and fighting off the urge to kill yourself and all that.
Exactly. I consider myself a comedian, but I'm a genred comedian. I'm a comedian in one kind of format, which is a video format. I don't think I could ever do stand-up, just being honest. I listen to stand-up comedians on podcasts and things like that talk about the game they have to play, to the country, playing, doing a 15-minute set for like $100, and I'm just like, I don't want to work that fucking hard. I work hard enough on my videos,
Yeah, it's a lot of work, I'm sure, and a lot of pressure. Just getting up there and in front of 5,000 people and doing that live, never ever pausing or getting lost or forgetting the point, or you got to have a quick mind and you got to have a good fucking memory.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't even know if I have stage fright or not because I haven't really been up in front of people all that much, except for maybe in college when I had to do, when I had to do a presentation or something. But
usually you hear that they have stage fright.
Oh yeah, and I think I could get over it because a lot of people. I mean, that is the number one fear, isn't it? Is speaking in front of people, or is it heights? It's one of those two. It's definitely in the top 5, right? Like speaking in front of people is like a number one fear of human beings.
Probably, yeah.
But I could probably get over it. What I can't get over is like the spotlight in my face. Like I am so pale white that I'm actually more afraid that I would glow with the light of a sun, of the light bouncing off my skin, and then people would think I was a god. And then I would
valid fear.
And I just can't deal with all that worshiping and bowing and
such
wanting
a pain in the ass.
Oh fuck yeah, trying to get me to heal their blindness and shit. And I just don't know if I want to be a beacon of hope.
But you could do the Stargate thing and just start a false religion and take people's souls and all that.
Yeah, that's more my speed. That's Magog's thing. He wants to conquer and destroy and enslave. I'd much rather be worshipped as a fearful overlord than like a benevolent God who heals people and heals the sick and answers prayers. And fuck that. I never want God to job.
You realize you said fearful overlord.
Oh. Fuck it.
Okay. You'll buy that, I guess.
Yeah, whatever. It's the unprofessional stream, won't you remember?
Indeed. Very good point.
Yeah, like I was like, man, as soon as I step out on that stage with that spotlight, I'll just burst into flames. I'd have to have it like SPF 30 at least to do stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Give me like, oh, that comedian last night was so funny, especially that part when he burst into flames and just started screaming and crying in pain. That was so hilarious. It's so realistic too.
Finally, you're famous and you died. Okay.
Even the fire department showed up because the pyrotechnics were so realistic.
Oh yeah, it's worth going out for.
Mm-hmm.
You should do it, man.
Go out in a blaze of glory.
But today's climate, you'd probably be accused of being a suicide bomber, so maybe not.
Yeah, in today's climate, it wouldn't even be comedy. I'd go to a comedy club and be like, I'm about to do a comedy skit, and I'd get on stage, and the first joke I tell, everybody be like, that's a bitch, that fucking bigot.
Yeah, have you seen those videos? That is fucking embarrassing when that happens, Even when they're quick whipped and they totally destroy the hecklers, it's just such a pain to watch when there's like this one SJW in the crowd and it's like, that's racist. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Can you just not shit on everyone's experience? They probably pay like fucking $500 to get the tickets to get here this one night. They got booked a hotel room and fucking flights and shit. Can you not fuck the experience up for 5,000 people?
Yeah, no shit. I mean,
and this keeps screeching like the entire fucking show.
Yeah,
until there's a fucking security guard that comes and carries them out.
That guy with the flashlight come over and be like, "You need to calm down, or I'm going to escort you out."
Yeah, but they don't stop there. They're fucking crazy, so they have to be carried out.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's fucking embarrassing. Are you an adult?
Ron White mentioned that in his newest stand-up on Netflix. I watched it today and or yesterday, now that it's 6 a.m. But I watched it, and there was a part of the skit where he mentioned in the pre-show, because oftentimes when they tape specials, he does, and bigger comedians, they'll do 2 shows back to back. They'll have it, right? Well, he's like, he cracked some joke about like, instead of a dating app that called Just Lunch, there's a dating app called Just Lunch where people just meet up and do lunch. He was like, I'm going to create an app called Lunch and a Blowjob. And he's like, man, some lady in the first show tonight stood up and was like, what's the woman get out of that? And he was like, lunch.
Perfect.
But just the fact that he mentioned that in the pre-show before the taping, that some fucking bitch in the audience stood up and was like, boo, what does the woman get? You know, like, come on, people. Jesus.
It's not like blowjob jokes are new.
Yeah, that's just
like,
been around.
It's like fucking Carlin did that.
Yeah, yeah. Pretty much, pretty much all the way back to
Richard Pryor or whoever. But I guess that's kind of the point. It's not that it's new, it's that it's just the morality is just coming back to the 18th century.
Yeah, it's there's a new purity movement, but for some reason it's coming from the left instead of the right this time. It's very weird.
Yeah. It's all this fucking sex is bad and all this crap.
Yeah. And then this whole like protection of like Islam as a religion confused the fuck out of me.
Yeah, that and the protection of women like their children. They can't be adults and just enjoy some fucking laughs. No. They're delicate flowers and they have to be protected from offensive things.
Yep, exactly. That's that's one of those things that's like, the pearl clutching on the left is the craziest I've ever seen, especially since they're guilty of the same kind of hatred towards the ones they disagree with. Like, have you noticed that, feminists are all about women until a woman speaks against feminism? Then all of a sudden they're not a woman anymore or something. It's really weird.
Yeah, they're all, it's just sort of apostasy. What is it called? No, that's not what you call it.
Yeah, apostasy is when you leave the religion.
Yeah, it's illegal in Islam and it's apparently illegal in feminism too.
Yeah, exactly. You're an apostate all of a sudden. It's kind of like in feminism, feminists do things on behalf of women that women don't even want.
Mm.
Like, it's fucking insane with the grid girls, the hot models that stand with the race cars at the Formula One races in Europe.
Yeah.
The feminists bitched and moaned about that being some sort of misogyny until all them girls got fired.
Yeah, it's like, thanks a lot, feminism. Now I'm fired and broke. Yeah, so it's kind of like the old saying, right? Go broke, go woke, get woke, go broke.
Exactly. I mean, and them girls, I saw a BBC interview with a few of the grid girls who decided to get on the BBC and talk about it. And that BBC anchor was such a bitch. She was like, but don't you realize that we're fighting for, equality and all this and that? And them girls, them hot models were like, but I loved my job.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't harassed. My bosses were, they treated us like human beings. We were just, we were supposed to, stand next to the cars and stuff. Like, I paid so much money. Now I have to I have to be a stripper.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's so silly. What harm did that do? It's like, nope. It brings joy to men, then it's wrong.
Yep. Like, women can walk down the street in the free the nipple, feminist march and be topless, and they're doing it for their own empowerment. But the moment you do it for men to like, then it's wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder what would happen if, they're walking down the street with their free the nipple all topless and everything, and the flasher comes by and starts jerking off. How does that work in everyone's mind?
That's misogyny, though, right?
Yeah, but does that mean, do they have to cover up then, or how does that work?
Yeah, do all the girls cover their bodies?
It's giving pleasure to a man then all of a sudden. No,
I think those feminists, though, they'd see that toxic masculinity unveil itself. And
of course, they would. But
I think they'd attack his fucking ass, to be honest with you, because they're riled up, man. They're like I don't know, they're fucking a herd of fucking screeching banshees. What are you gonna fucking do, man?
Yeah, they'd probably tear him to pieces.
Forgive me for saying this, but I've been doing this YouTube thing for almost 2 years now, and I've gotten to the point to where I am a little biased now. And when it comes to like radical third wave feminism and stuff, I'm
Mm.
really sitting there going, you know what third wave feminism is? And it honestly, in my mind, I'm just being honest here. I know there's an actual logical explanation for everything, and we can get into all the deep nitty gritty details of the ideology and why it's bad and the neo-Marxism and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, when I see a radical third wave feminism action, I just sit there and go, this is feminism for ugly bitches. Well, this is just a bunch of ugly bitches because all the hot feminists done got married and had kids and shit, and they got a good life. And the only ones that are left over, these angry ass fucking ugly harpies. You know?
Well, I mean, especially radical feminism, because that's different from third wave feminism. I would say.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, it's just like
the radical feminism, that is like exactly, that is feminism for ugly bitches.
You know, what's next in the degradation of this ideology? Just feminism for cows?
Well, I mean, they have said that veganism is a requirement for feminism. I'm not sure they've all agreed on that, but that's certainly been something they've tossed around.
I've reached my limit on the insanity of the mainstream news, the tech companies, feminism, SJWs, Antifa. I mean, I've just started just hating them. Like it started out as disagreeing with them and trying to like to debate and tear down their points and show how stupid they are. Now it's just gotten to a point where I'm just like, is this real? This isn't real. Because if it's real, I have to kill it. You know, like I'm questioning reality. Like I saw an article today on Twitter by the Washington Post. Like we're not even talking about some like no-name small town paper or some college paper. We're talking about the Washington Post. And the literal name of this article was "Stop Comparing Trump to Hitler. It belittles Hitler."
What?
And I went, no.
Come again?
Does not brain right.
Yeah, you can't even brain.
I can't even brain. No sense making in this word salad.
Oh my God, you've gone so far off the other end that you actually proven the horseshoe theory.
It's like, Jesus Christ. Are you fucking kidding me? Don't compare Trump to Hitler. It belittles Hitler.
Oh my God, that's actual proof of the horseshoe theory. That's amazing.
Yeah, right? Yeah. And just every time
They've actually started defending Hitler. Good job. Good job.
I think it was a clickbait title because I went on to read some of the article and they did say Hitler was an evil person and all this and that. But somehow they also made it out that Trump was worse.
Yeah, he didn't get everyone 4 weeks of paid vacation, I guess.
Yeah, which, you know, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, whoever wrote this is half retarded, and the other side of their not retardedness is not so smart. You know, like there's just their brains are in their asses, man. I just can't fucking deal anymore. Like this is the fucking journalists that are coming out of college right now. Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't know, man. That is priceless. Jesus Christ.
In the chat says Trump is worse because it's happening to them. Might have a point there.
Yeah, that's true. Everyone is their main character in their own life, so
yeah, obviously, and obviously, you know, what's happening in closer proximity to you is always going to be more important, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a certain point why we're still talking about that Hitler's a bad guy and the ultimate bad guy, and then just comparing Hitler to Trump is so stupid.
Yeah, Hitler totally got the gold star in evil, and somehow he was able to pull that off, even though there have been other dictators who killed twice as many people as him. But
Yeah.
he's just the gold standard for evil, and I honestly think it's because all that fucking freaky ass goose stepping. You know?
Well, I mean, fuck the Soviets they were pretty good at that.
Oh yeah, I know, but it's just not as well visualized as all those old black and white.
Did you never see the fucking Red Square marches? Holy
Of course
shit!
I did, but for some reason, the world just decided, we got these three big dictators over here that killed, like, combined, they all killed like hundreds of millions of people. Mao, Stalin, and Hitler. But which name out of those three just sounds like the ultimate evil?
Well, that's obviously Hitler, and
Hitler won.
The interesting thing is that you never even hear about Mao.
I don't know why, because Mao killed more people than Stalin and Hitler.
Yeah, and then he's
numbers is like 100 million Chinese.
They just swept him under the rug real good.
Yeah, man, he killed a fuck ton of people, man.
Yeah,
God damn, and it wasn't even that either. He also had hardcore iconoclasm, trying to destroy all of China's history completely, just wipe it out of all the history books, burn all the history books, destroy all the statues, the art, everything. He wanted to reset China. He didn't want them remembering any of their Taoism or Zenism or anything like that, any of the Buddhism. He didn't want any of that shit. He wanted everybody on the same, clean slate. And that often created a lot of people dying.
Yeah. Lots
of fucking people.
Well, anyways, before we go on with that super chat time, James Stewart says, I will speak on behalf of the chat, and I beg for this kind of shooting the shit as a regular thing. And also, how do you guys feel about Baldur's Gate games?
I don't play a lot of games these days.
No, I don't play that one either. So it's like I don't feel anything about it.
Yeah, this is not a gaming channel. Go on over to Razor Fist or somebody like that and ask that question. I'm really sorry. I don't have an answer for you.
I play some games, but not that one. But anyway, thank you for your compliment there about shooting the shit. That's good that you're enjoying it.
But it can't be a regular thing, folks, because Undoom's got a normie job. So,
well, it's never going to be like a certain time, like on Tuesday 3:00 or some shit, because of my job. I'm usually very busy, but we'll certainly, because me and Magog are friends, so we'll certainly do it again.
Oh yeah, we stream all the time.
Yeah. And then Synapse says, if anyone wants to see a repeat of the Trump election, lefty tantrums, watch out. It's Brazil's election day. Nice surprise stream for y'all. Really, is that today, Brazil's election?
That'll be fun. Yeah, because they're, I guess they're. I mean, God, Brazil already, in my opinion, is a pretty, conservative, nationalistic country. I mean, they're hardcore Catholics, and steeped deep in their religious traditions, and conservatism often takes that form. But at the same time, I don't know about the current regime, but if they get voted out and replaced by a radically more right-leaning regime, there will be some SJW squealing for sure.
I have no idea what the situation is like in Brazil. So I don't know. Are they they have a left-leaning government or right-leaning, or what's the climate like? Are they...
All about Brazil is they got some big booty bitches up in that motherfucking country.
Yeah, they do that. But, do you know what the situation is like?
No, I don't really pay attention to what happens in the foreign as much as I should, but I am ashamed that I'm not up to date on all the world politics.
No, I'm likewise, and I haven't really heard much about the Brazilian election. Brazilian
No,
election.
I
That
mean,
sounds dirty.
yeah, that sounds like a porno I rented the other night.
The Brazilian
Oh, so
erection.
that was the Brazilian ejaculation. Sorry.
Yeah, the erection.
The Brazilian erection, yeah. But,
Yeah.
no, I don't get me wrong. I definitely paid attention to the Venezuelan thing, but I was not up to date to Brazil because I thought they were kosher, man. I thought they were one of the ones in South America doing pretty good.
Oh, yeah, aren't they? I
I
mean,
think they
I've
are,
never heard. I've never.
sure,
Sorry.
but economically, for sure, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing all right, right? It's a free country as far as I know, right?
Yeah, relatively speaking, yeah, sure. I could look it up. I mean, that's a good question. I'm not privy to that information at the moment because
Yeah, me neither.
it's like 6:30 in the morning, and I'm not going to look it up right now. Sorry.
Fuck it. No, but yeah, I hope they have a nice election day and that a reasonable person is elected then.
Yeah, sure. I hope so too. And I want that for the rest of the world, and I want some of this stuff that's been implemented to start rolling back soon too, because there's a lot happening in Europe that I'm paying attention more, mostly because I spend a lot of time there. I have friends there. I have fellow YouTubers, creators there that I like.
Exactly. Yeah, me too. Obviously, you hear a lot about Brexit and the EU and all that.
Yeah, and all the shit happening there. I mean, the goddamn, they've gotten to a point now where they're arresting 3 to 5 people a day for saying something.
Actually, it's more than that. Actually, right?
No, in England, I don't know about the rest of Europe, but in England, it was just released. I just read it last week, and it's like 3 to 5 people a day now, which amounts to like over 4,000 people a year or something are arrested for writing something on the internet.
Right. I remember, because I remember sending out a tweet where I had screenshotted the BBC or something, and at that point it was like 9,000 a year or something.
Oh, maybe I was reading an older report. I don't know. But
I mean,
all I know is that's ridiculous. People are
I don't know what mine was from, but I think that's probably like at least 6 months, maybe a year that I did that tweet. So I don't know. Yeah, anyway, it's a shitload of people that they're arresting for just saying shit on the internet.
Now, don't get me wrong. Comparatively to the size of their population, 6 or 9,000 people is not even a percentage point. But it's still ridiculous that even one person gets arrested for writing something on the internet.
Exactly.
And that was my point. And we can quarrel over the numbers.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. But yeah, the fact that they're doing it and that they're doing it that much proves that it's not a mistake. It's not something that's, oh, we did something wrong and now we're gonna fix the law, and they're just going on with business. They're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, this might be me getting a little tired because it's so early in the morning now. But I've, my brain starts getting a little loopy when I need some sleep. But I can tell you this right now, man. I really do fear that something is going to happen, either in our country or over somewhere in Europe, that is just going to be the tipping point for all of this. Like some politician is going to get assassinated, or somebody's going to hit somebody really hard, like these Antifa riots or whatever, these protests that turn violent, and some Antifa douchebag is going to punch somebody in the face, and then he's just going to pull out a gun and waste like 8 of them, and then we're going to have
the shot,
law and blood in the streets bullshit.
The shot heard around the world,
right? Some Franz Ferdinand thing is going to fucking happen. I swear to God. It's like a powder keg out there right now.
Yeah, probably going to happen in Europe, and then they're going to ask for our intervention all of a sudden. Like, yeah, well no. We like you. We're sorry about what we said before. Yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake, this again.
And I'm not even talking. I mean, don't get me wrong. Violence is happening. People are hitting each other. People are beating each other with pipes. And, there's obviously terrorism and stuff, too. We had the guy mail in fucking ricin poison to fucking Republicans. And we had fake bombs. And all of that stuff is happening. But I'm talking about there's going to be somebody who's like super popular, but is also kind of right leaning or at least centrist, who is just going to be the one that sparks the really bad shit.
Yeah.
You know, I'm talking like full-fledged, oh my God, the fucking fucking Portland is burning. You know, like we're talking about some fucking I don't want to say civil war, but I'm definitely gonna put it out there that it's probably gonna get bloodier before it gets better. You know.
Well, I think it'll probably hit Europe though.
Europe first, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. There, I mean, Jesus Christ, some of these countries like Germany or France or something, they have such an internal conflict within their population now because they're like basically two groups. They're the Muslims and then there's the Christians or whatever.
Yeah, it's a goddamn holy war again.
Yeah, and they're going to start holy wars within their country, holy civil wars.
And you know what? You know the reaction to extremism is going to be extremism.
Yeah, it always is.
That always ends up being something like the Inquisition. You know,
whatever it is, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, no, of course not. I mean, I don't think everybody's going to just suddenly forget everything they hate about each other and sit around a campfire singing Kumbaya, but I can tell you it is going to be.
But it would have to be, like you say, someone really important because obviously Charlie Hebdo didn't do anything. So
yeah, I mean, that was a terrorist attack on a newspaper, but I'm talking about this is going to be like a Kanye West with like 50 million followers and suddenly like somebody's going to pop him in the back of the fucking head. Not Kanye West, but I'm saying him in general or her. You know, whoever it is going to be somebody like that, like really up there, who's also kind of like, who wants the violence to stop, who wants us to start talking again, who does support the president because he's our president. He may disagree with him on some things, but you're allowed to disagree with your president. But somebody like that, like a huge, important public figure is going to get fucking popped, which is a sad fucking thing. I don't want to see that happen, but it's going to happen, and it's just going to be enough. It's going to be the camel that breaks, or the straw that breaks the camel's back for the right. And then there's going to be an extreme pushback. And I'm not even talking about some protesters showing up to face off with Antifa. I'm talking about straight up like fucking militia marching on Washington, D.C. bullshit, you know?
Well, like I said, I think it'll happen in Europe. I don't think I'm not seeing it in the U.S. Right now.
They're trying to curb that. The fucking European Union wants to form its own army.
Yeah,
that's scary. That's fucking frightening. Like, what does a trade federation need an army for?
That's a fuck. Everyone get on the internet and make a meme on that. Jesus.
Right. I know that's been talked about last year, and I don't know if it's still being tried, but I think people need to keep an eye on the EU because if they start to form their own fucking army that is supposed to like represent the interests of the EU and not the interests of the people that are members of the EU states, I would be like, nope, fuck that. Where's the nukes?
That's such a good fucking comparison, though. I've never thought of that. Like, yeah, what does a trade federation need with an army?
Yep.
That's like George Lucas. Maybe you're not that stupid.
Right?
He predicted the EU.
Yeah, maybe those trade federation ships surrounding.
This is how democracy dies, to the sound of applause, or whatever she says.
Yep. To roaring applause. Yes. Fucking goddamn worse shit. And I know that all cultures and empires and countries go through strife and everything, but I'm starting to get to the point where I'm just like, there probably is no end to this identity politics until an extreme form of pushback happens. And I'm not talking about the alt-right. The alt-right is the obvious extreme version of SJWs. They're just as identitarian. You know, they're identity politics through and through. It's just on the other side of the spectrum. It's fucking white supremacy or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Like you say, yeah, it's identitarianism.
Yeah, I'm talking about normies finally having enough. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking, and that's why I said it's going to be a very popular political figure or a social political figure, so that the normies finally pay attention. You You'd be surprised how many people don't really use the internet all that much except to talk to friends and send emails and stuff and watch TV, watch Netflix or whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then,
sure. I mean, I have normal friends.
right. But then they'll suddenly turn around and go, well, who the fuck just got killed? Oh, fuck that. What's going on? And then they start learning about Antifa and stuff that they didn't even fucking know about.
Yeah.
And then they start seeing it, and then they start going, no, not in my fucking country. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No, them bitches got communist flags. Fuck that. I gotta get my bazooka.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, it goes back to the civil rights movement.
Dr. Martin Luther King's assassination was a huge thing. It
Yeah.
actually fully impacted the entirety of that movement.
Yeah, I mean that was it was a sad thing, obviously, but that certainly didn't help the ones who were against him.
Yeah, and I'm sure he didn't want to give his life for that, but he became a martyr, for
Yeah.
that cause. I mean, I don't think when he said I have a dream, he was dreaming about bullets going through his fucking head.
No,
So, I don't think he set out for that, but he also knew the dangers. And he played that right, and he was willing. And a lot of people were. They were willing to just sit there and let white people beat the fuck out of them on national television, so that all the other countries of the world and all the fucking other states were looking at it going, okay, whoa.
yeah.
Things, it was very passive aggressive type of protesting. They wouldn't fight back,
Well, that's what made them seem like the good guys. So obviously that was a smart move.
Gandhi did the same fucking thing.
Yeah, it's really hard to brutally beat down on someone that's being all nice about it.
Yeah, even just your average American Joe back then, who just kind of accepted the role of black people in the society, so they were just a little bit of racist because of the product of the time.
Yeah.
Still weren't racist and hate-filled enough to watch that kind of pure hatred and violence on television and go,
because Americans love an underdog.
Right.
So it's like, holy shit, fuck this shit.
Honestly, that's what's going to happen. Some representative of the normies that don't know really what's going on or not paying attention are suddenly going to get woke as fuck to what's going on, and they are going to push back.
Yeah.
And it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot. We're going to be watching it and going, we told you this was coming, us internet folk, and you guys didn't listen. And now we've got grandma out there with her moo-moo on with a fucking shotgun. Got hair rollers in her fucking hair, and she's got her fucking moo-moo on, and she got a double barrel pointed at some fucking Antifa hipster.
Well, speaking of Martin Luther King, we have a super chat from Dr. Martin Luther Pepe. He says, Holy War now, retake Malmo, retake Sweden. Joking aside, we have a lot of civil strife in Sweden.
Yes, you do. You're one of the worst countries right now in Europe. And that's just from what I've been reading. I mean, isn't like rape up 1,000% in Sweden or something like that?
I've heard it's the highest rape statistics in the entire world.
Yeah, they beat out the Congo.
Yeah. How is that possible?
I was pretty sure the moment you land in Congo, you're given like a complimentary rape.
Yeah, it's like you get your ticket and stand in line here, please.
Right? Like, Jesus Christ. How do you have higher rape statistics than the Congo? Jesus, man, that is a sad fucking state.
That is the feminist country or whatever you call it.
Oh yeah, they did. Was it Sweden or Switzerland? It's one of those two that implemented the universal basic income.
No, that was Switzerland, but they didn't implement it.
Oh, I thought they did, man. I read one country implemented it. It might have been a South American country or something, but
I know that Switzerland tried, or they had like a referendum on it, and I think it didn't pass.
Yeah, I'm fucking glad, because anybody fucking knows that, at first it'll be all great because everybody gets money. But then eventually your unemployment grows because some people are just going to be like, well, I don't have to work.
But this is actually a theory that I think is interesting because it just sort of it's not like it's free money. The whole theory is based on the fact that it'll still save money for the government because they can just get rid of all the fucking administration and all that shit. Just fucking pay whatever it is, like $1,000 to every citizen ever, and then they could just get rid of all the administration. And whenever someone gets, they want social security or fucking welfare or whatever, they can just fuck off. You have your fucking basic income, fuck off. There's nothing else, right?
Yeah.
So the theory is, and it's well researched by a lot of really high level economists, and they say that it'll save money for the government actually. So I think it's interesting. It's an interesting concept.
It possibly could work in a country that has a lower population. With
I don't know. I mean, can you imagine how much we spend on the fucking administration?
But what I'm getting at is if you have a lower population than the U.S. and you have a diverse economy, meaning you don't have just one industry, it could possibly do that.
But because who the fuck would want to live on those wages? They'd still want to get a job, right? That's like the interesting part of it.
Some people think that, but
some people are always going to be bums. So,
yeah, but but it's also it could be a cultural thing too. It could very well work in a country like Switzerland or Sweden, but here in America, I think we've learned through many different economic strifes over the past, couple generations and decades that Americans want to work.
Yeah,
they want a job.
Of course, and look, I'm not saying I'm for this. I'm just saying it's very interesting to think about. But yeah, the theory is that they would still want to work because maybe then you'd have your $1,000 a month and a salary. That'd be nice.
A lot of people would probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think that your unemployment would be higher than normal, and that would slowly choke the middle class.
Maybe.
But once again, they could, like you said, it's an interesting.
Because I think probably, I don't have any figures on this, but I'm guessing that more than 50% of the money we spend on Social Security goes to administration.
Yeah, they've been dipping.
I mean, it's like fucking all these offices, all these employees, and all the fucking checks they have to do, and all the fucking bookkeeping, and all that shit. Fucking buildings full of records, all that stuff. It's costing billions.
Yeah, but it has to. There's a lot of economic, research that has to go into that because it's also based on, it's also based on all kinds of things like inflation and exports, imports, taxes. I mean, maybe it probably would do that, especially in a country whose gross taxes are like 40%. Like most people pay that large amount. Who knows? I think it is a cultural thing too.
I think it's obviously never going to happen in the U.S. It would just be interesting to see what happened in Switzerland, but we're not going to see that because they voted against it. And it's from an ethical point of view, I don't think it's right, but it was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to talk about, and I wish I was a much bigger expert on economics than just what little I've researched and everything to understand the basics, but I can definitely understand that point of view, and it is interesting. I'll think on that in when I ponder in my insomniac life.
Right.
Sometimes late in the morning, I'm gonna just be up anyway. So maybe one of these nights I'll be like, "No, wait a minute, was Undoomed kind of right on that?"
Well, I'm not saying I'm right or anything. I'm just saying that it's an interesting concept, and I understand that it must cost so much just to administrate all this shit.
Sure, but at the same time, how much would it cost to administrate the giving of all that money?
Well, you could just set up a fucking auto transfer in your state bank account. Like, just auto transfer the fucking $1,000 to every citizen. That's it. Fuck off.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I think in this country, if everybody got $1,000 on top of whatever job they're doing, it would crash our economy. And that's just me. But I think it's also because in this country, we would do that, but also not get rid of like welfare system or anything. Like we'd have that too. You know,
Yeah, probably.
greedy.
Well, then it makes no sense. Obviously, you have to get rid of everything if you're going to do it.
Yeah, yeah. So it is going to be interesting if ever that happens to see what happens in the long term, because I think in the short term, whatever country implements it, in the short term, it'll work really well. As
Yeah,
unemployment-
the
Well-
like you said before, or at least you insinuated, the problem is probably like it might work in the short term, but it's really bad if it sort of gets people used to not working. So less and
Right.
less people want to work.
Right, right. It could, no matter how much it costs to do the administration stuff, it could very well just ruin a country over the long term because through the generations, people would just get used to not working all that much. Like maybe they have a little job or whatever to supplement. But when you get that kind of money in, some people are content with living very simply.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not driven by the same, free market American dream that we are over here, and maybe that's enough, who knows?
Yeah, yeah, and I think it was more than $1,000 a month. So it's like it would be like a basic income, but it would be it wouldn't be just be like our minimum wage. It'd be like the European minimum wage, which is
and
more.
You might end up living in a borough or a ghetto or something, and maybe that's not the life for everybody. So maybe it would work. Who knows? Because it also depends on the expense of that country. Cost of living in certain areas and stuff. Like most countries are smaller than single states in America, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got countries out there that are smaller than fucking Texas, and so
of course Texas is big.
Yeah, we're used to a very dramatic change in cost of living from state to state, whereas in other countries, their cost of living could just really only change very slightly from one county to another. And that is like a microeconomy thing. Like here in Arkansas, it is so fucking dirt cheap to live here. If the government gave me $1,000 to live, I'd only need to work at like McDonald's part-time. I mean, that's how cheap it is in Arkansas. But in California and LA, $1,000 a month ain't shit.
No, you can't even fucking pay the rent then.
And so you've got to take that into consideration, all those little micro economies within your country and stuff. So who knows, I'd be interested to see the whole process laid out. It is interesting.
Well, wouldn't that be like an interesting right-wing conspiracy then? Like to do that, because then they could get people to move out of California because it's too expensive.
Yeah, but people are already doing that, man. You know how many fucking Californians have moved out to Texas and shit? Fuck.
Yeah, because like fucking Austin and shit, they're like completely
they're becoming quite gentrified in the Californian ways in certain cities.
Yeah, I mean, you're hearing some crazy shit you'd never thought you'd hear from Texas coming out of that shit. Exactly. Holy shit, they're like really mini of California.
Yep. So, is there any more super chats? Because I think we should probably go ahead and hop off of here. It's been 3 hours.
Right.
It is 7 a.m. and
Yeah. I guess it's a good time to round it off.
Sure.
We're done with the super chats.
I didn't know how to segue into an ending because this is the unprofessionals.
Yeah, it's completely unprofessional.
Yeah, we just end it. That's all we do.
Just hit the end button right there.
We should one night, just to be unprofessional, we should just like really start talking about like a serious topic and the chat starting to go nuts and have all kinds of opinions, and then we just end like mid-sentence. Like everybody thinks the stream just died, It's like, no, we're really unprofessional. We didn't even say goodbye.
On purpose, yeah. That's a goal worth aiming for.
Damn Skippy.
All right. So I think we've covered everything. Say goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for your support and super chats, and I hope to see you soon. I will be uploading a little Halloween special video before Halloween. Yeah, thanks a lot. See you later.